Hello, everybody. We're live. Welcome. How's it going? I hope I'm live. Okay, it was buffering. I believe I'm live. Can I hear it? Okay, I can hear myself. Look at us. We are live. Well, not official yet. We still have to make the Discord announcement. So let's do that. And while we do that, let's take some time to thank someone who is. I am very grateful that they show up around here. VMe has actually donated. For the first time on this channel, we got a donation. I'm so thankful. So thank you, VMe. That's also his name in Twitch. And thank you so much. I just really appreciate it. And I'm glad you have been so generous. I'm Sean Connery. Okay, let's go live. We are officially live here. More compiler work. Port 5. Also, I gotta remember to do this. Wonderful. Perfect. Amazing, amazing. All right, how are we doing? I can pause my stream. I don't have to watch myself. I would like to catch up on some followers. After my last stream 2 days ago, somebody followed Zermil. So shout out to Zermil. Thank you for the follow. And shout out Turkman. Followed yesterday, not on a stream day. So I very much appreciate you. I don't know why or how, but I appreciate it. If you don't know, this is the Discord. There's a link down below. Unless you have an ad blocker on, it might block it. But there's a link down below. And you should be able to come here. We all talk. We make friends, send memes. It's fun. And I really recommend it. So yeah, come hang out. Anyway, I think that's my little spiel done. Are we ready to get going? I think we are ready to get going. All right. I guess I just gotta figure out what to do. I think first, let's just restructure this project a little bit. Headers and implementations and all. I think let's start with error. So I would say it ends here. That would be it. Okay. We can now move that into error.c. We can include standard def for null. We can include standard IO because we have putjar and printf. I think that's it for standard library. Then we just need to include error.h. Is that fine? Yeah, that should be fine. Mr. Mugume. Oh, he is splitting files. That's right, Mr. Mugume. It's so good to see you. I'm so glad you came back. I had a busy day yesterday, but I'm glad to be back home and coding this weekend. How are you doing, Mr. Mugume? Okay, error.c, so now error.h. Probably just going to move this entirely into there. We also are going to need OK, which means we're going to need standard def. Whoops, there we go. And we're going to need to do an if and def. Mr. Mugume says he is great. That is awesome. It's so good to hear that you are doing great. We are having fun. I should probably make this guard, not just error.h. What could it be? What are we making? Let's just make it compiler error h. I don't think anything will use that. Whoops. I found a cool write explaining all the escape sequences and terminal flags to make a text editor. Nice, like a terminal text editor. Should be fine. Why are you complaining? I think Egglet's freaking out. Yeah, I don't know. This should be fine. I think it's, yeah, see, it thinks we're in C++. Clang D is not smart. We'll be fine. Okay. So I'm making that now as my first C project. And then he says, yeah, nice. So you're probably answering my question about being a terminal. That's really cool. That is a big project, my guy. I'm gonna let you know. Are you gonna use like N curses? Are you just gonna use like VT100 and ANSI escape sequences? Because the VT100 ANSI, they're pretty reliable. They're just not supported by every shell. But it doesn't matter. As long as it works for what you want, that's perfect. And it's a sweet project. Like, nobody builds text editors. Nobody succeeds, at least. Because it's, people go, oh yeah, I just need to draw a string to the screen. And then they realize that's really tough. Yeah, I'm going full basics, no N curses. Nice. Yeah, you're gonna basically just have to create your own API. That's gonna be fun. You're definitely gonna learn a lot. You could even like create your own N curses library that you use in your own program. Kind of like how I do with light graphics, how I link it as a separate library to keep the code completely separate. All right, what do we do? Error. Okay, so we now have error.c. I'm gonna have to compile that once, so let's get our compile command up and running. Hey, it's already here. Nice. Wonderful. What are you mad about? Unknown type name error. I probably have to include in the CMake. It is a lot of fun going full basics, like with no libraries, just doing it all yourself. I really like coding like that in C. It's like, I feel like I am in the 1970s. It's amazing. But with a really fast computer, which helps. So I have this target func now. And I need to like, what, target link directories? I don't even know what to call it. Target include directories, that's what it is. Func. And just include source, please. So this should allow us to use this type of thing. And we're closer. What happened? Called with invalid arguments. Okay, sorry. Target system after before. Interface public. Okay, so sure. And after watching all the Ben Eater vids, it isn't such a steep learning curve. Exactly. Like if you once you have like some basic programming, understanding the hardware becomes so much easier as well. It's really cool. I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, Ben Eater has amazing videos. His 8-bit computer. Have you seen like the 16-bit computers that people are building in his subreddit? They're so cool. They're like making their own PCBs, and which I did to make an audio amplifier, but I don't think that's as cool. Key. Nearly there. Undefined reference to assert and error prep. Okay. Where is this? Error? Oh, I do use assert. Okay, that would be important. That's fair. I just typed the completely wrong thing. As I do. We're getting closer. What do we have now? Error prep is an undefined reference. Where? Main.c. And then multiple definition of OK, first defined here. With. Yeah, I don't know how much fun it must be to debug these things. Yeah, it's the videos are fun and all when it's working, but you don't get to see the 20 hours he spends going, what the fuck? Why doesn't it work? And then you have to go to sleep mad, like, God damn it, I'll work on it tomorrow. I gotta sleep. God. And then you wake up the next morning, you start working on it at like 4 a.m. You didn't get any good sleep at all. There's definitely that involved. We're doing more cocainum today, so hopefully we'll be energized and excited. Because I get excited. Why is this not working? So, I know I can use quotes. I don't want to use the quotes. I need to... Oh, I probably just need to copy the from the build directory, compile commands into there, and then I can reconnect. Hey, look, I did it. That's still not going to help with the compilation. That was just for the language server. But yeah, debugging, honestly, with no libraries, debugging becomes much easier because libraries make all sorts of calls and you have to kind of figure out how the library works just to figure out what the problem is. But when you make everything yourself, it's like, oh, I wrote that code. I definitely did that wrong. You know? It's pretty easy to find. So where is it telling me? Why is it saying BSS at 0? Why is this? This isn't helping me. .text plus OX41D. That isn't helping me. Compiler. This is not a good error. What am I supposed to do about this? Okay. Undefined reference to error prep in main.c. Okay, so error prep may be an error C. Yeah, that's got to be an error.h. Okay, we're close. That's better. Now you can hate yourself instead of some library dev. Exactly. Now you can be angry at yourself. What is the warning? Implicit declaration of print error. Okay, perfect. So now we just have to add... We made it. Chat, we made it. Perfect. Look at us. Hey, Eternal Wild Fox is here. Hello. How's it going? How are you today? I started the Chip 8 project. What? That's so awesome. For those of you that don't know, Eternal Wild Fox is working on I think an emulator? As how I would put it, a CPU emulator. I'm gonna click on this link. I might be scared. Ooh, we're gonna show it. Yeah. Can you see this? I gotta check on. Nope, you can't. Now you can see it. View it in all of its glory. Look, he's actually working. He has a disassembler for the Chip 8 written in PHP. This is amazing. I can't wait to check this out. What's going on with your taskbar? This is Eternal Wild Fox. Don't josh him for the taskbar. That's not important. Okay? What we're looking at is his progress. Look at this amazing progress. He has like disassembled assembly in PHP. He has a hex dumper that he wrote. Oh, this is so cool. I can't wait to check this out. If this is on Git, I'll give you a star and a follow right away. That's incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that, Eternal Wild Fox. That is awesome. That's really cool. You like wrote your own disassembler in PHP. That's baller. He put a happy face in chat. Hell yeah. Happy faces all around, baby. Oh, we're having a good time. Okay, where are we? I hate Windows. Okay, so multiple definition of OK in main.c. Is this in main.c? That's not there. We have error.h. Error equals OK. Okay. So I don't see OK like as its own thing here. kind of anywhere. It's just used as here. Maybe okay should be like, I don't know. Oh, I see. We're having multiple definition. I like mine taskbar huge, lol. That's okay, man. Whatever floats your boat, right? So maybe this should be a static error with initialization in error.c. Is that how that works? I thought that's how that worked. No, extern. It's not static. Okay. So in the header, we say, hey, somewhere there's an actual error called OK. And the linker will go, cool, we can use that symbol. But then when you actually, or the compiler, but then when you actually link with the object file, it will find this definition. Yeah, we're good. That's good. So now we should be able to compile. Hey, and it worked. We have split files. We have one. Let's keep going. Let's get this train all the way. We're taking file IO into its own file, baby. A, B, C, D, E, F. F comes after E. I'm not good at a alphabet. Okay, file IO.h. Eternal Wild Fox says nice. Very nice. We're gonna need an if and def. If not defined, compiler, file IO, header. Then define all this stuff, please. And then don't actually define it. Just, you know, declare it. Like bankruptcy. And this should work. Okay, so we can include file IO. Did I copy file contents? I did. Now I can get rid of this. Can copy file size. Get rid of that. And we're gonna need standard IO just for the file pointer. So I'm not the only one who always has to start from the beginning, Mr. Mugume. Absolutely not. I think that's why we're all here. Oh, we need airno. Where do we... That's an airno.h, right? Luckily. Because I did not remember. Yeah, I think if you're inherently attracted to C programming, it's like you kind of just like to do things yourself and understand how things work. It's like if I spend 8 days making a hammer, but my original intention was to like make something out of wood, but I went to get a hammer and I didn't like the hammer I had, so I made a hammer. It's like, well, I don't think I wasted my time. I just made a baller hammer. I didn't get what I originally wanted done, but I did get something I wanted done, which is just as good, really. Why is it mad at me for malloc? What's it yelling at me for? Implicit function declaration. That's important. So we need to just include, because we just split this up. So we need standard lib for malloc, and we need standard IO for fopen. Right? Is that where that is? Yes, that's where that is. It's just deprecated. Assert. So we need assert. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now just include it, which we did. And I think that should be it. Nope. What went wrong? Undefined reference to file contents. Ah, because in CMake we did not add the file. Silly me. We are having fun. Awesome, we split into 3 files. We're keeping this train going. Okay, I think we should just keep the lexer because it's literally this big. It is 30 lines of code. I don't think we need an entire file for 30 lines of code. I think we can manage. And also it would kind of simplify things because nothing needs the lexer except for the parser. We should not be doing lexing outside of parsing. If we are, we may be doing something very odd. Okay, so where does parser go to? Parser is basically all of this. And then we have environments. Okay. Boink. We're going to boink this right into parser.h. Compiler parser h. Okay, so... Oh, also in error.h, I just remembered. We don't need standard depth because we now no longer have null. It's in the implementation. Perfect. That's much better. Okay, so now... Let's see. Thank you everybody so much for tuning in today on this compiler work. So we need error.h. We are currently just splitting the project up into multiple files because we've been working on it for a while in a single file. But it's time to do some restructuring. We need printf. That's what I keep going back and forth for. What else? Do we have malloc? We have malloc, so we need standard lib. Okay, what else? Assert. We have assert. Asserts that don't actually work, as far as we know. Okie dokie. These are not going to be in the header, but we're not there yet. I probably should have done that first, because we don't actually need any of these in the header. We need them here. Okay, parser. So first we're going to need the lexer. And I don't think we actually need the lexer outside of anything. So we're just going to steal it entirely how it was before in an implementation file. I'll leave that one because it kind of is relevant, and then I'll say this symbol is equal to node, what is it, children? Yeah, wait, let me check. Yeah, children and next child. Wonderful. And then this would be equal to the next child. Pointer. By the way, I know I still have a few opcode left to disassemble. I hope I can get it done today. That would be cool. That would be amazing, Eternal Wild Fox. It's so much fun to keep making like incremental progress. Like it just slowly chipping away at a block of marble or whatever you prefer. And sometimes it's like SpongeBob. You gotta draw like a really fancy face and then go, I just want a circle and erase most of it, right? Okay, hopefully this kind of helps understand the AST structure. First time chat from a viewer, awesome. Jukia2 or Yukia2, I don't know, asks, what language is this compiler for? This compiler is for a language I made up. You can actually check out the YouTube or the VOD on Twitch. And the first making a compiler video, I literally spend the first 10 minutes making up this language. And we effectively parse this language. And yeah, we're still working on that, parsing this language. It's got top-level scripting where you can have function calls on the top level like Python. But I also want it to have types, static typing, and I want it compile into executables using x86-64 assembly. What he really wants to say is that he doesn't know. Right. Mr. Mugume has it. Eternal Wild Fox, maybe for chip 8 assembly. Ooh, that's definitely gonna... If we can get a backend in chip 8 assembly, that would be an awesome collaboration between these two projects, I think. It would just be cool to have a compiler compile this random language into some other random assembly language. Like it's so perfect. I don't know why I like it, but that's definitely something we can pursue. Also, I think I have these APIs. What else to do? I definitely have to think about how to document node types, because whatever this is awful. Like, I wonder if Doxygen has a way to document enums better? Jukia2 says, didn't I see you Eternal Wild Fox on one of my streams lately? Or am I going off the wall? Okay, so we're gonna need to, I guess after the node, we're gonna have move node allocate to its own thing. Excuse me, thank you. Parser.c, node allocate. Good enough. We're just gonna do some like simple, is that 48? I think that's, I don't know, 4 times, that should be 64. So then we're just gonna end Lexer. And we'll begin Lexer up here. This will help us just delineate a little bit. Plus, if we ever want to split, it'll make it easy. Maybe I was on your stream, yes. Eternal Wild Fox also may not remember. No, he said yes. He said yes. I'm just joshing. Okie dokie, okie dokie. Yesu, yesu, yesu. Why if we can desu? Okay, so we would like to compare nodes. Did I do that right? I don't think I did. So compare nodes. We would like to have, let's just describe what this does. Create a new node with integer type and a value. With integer type and given value. Sure, that's good enough. Copy the whole thing. Remove the implementation. Add the implementation. That's definitely a good idea. Sure. We're being very uncreative today. Create a new node with symbol type and given value. Create a new node with integer type and given value. Starting to sound like a broken record. We need strdo. What is that in? That's in string, isn't it? I guess for the Lexer, we also need strspin and strcspin. Do we have strperberk as well? I don't think we use strperberk in this one. Nice. That's probably good. Maybe is good enough for me to not feel like I'm mixing up things. Jukia. That's good enough. He'll take it. So awesome. Okay, so we are having fun. We're just moving these implementations. Print node. I think print node should be below node free, but it doesn't matter. Perfect. Alrighty. That looks like a header that makes some sense. Create a new node with symbol type and value equal value copied from given buffer. And, how do I incorporate length here? Lawful evil is organizing your definitions and implementations alphabetically. Oh god. Is that what I don't think that's what I did. I hope not. I think I just put them in whatever order I write them. And sometimes I put things next to each other. Like node allocate got put next to node, but I wrote that last. But node add child is like one of the first things I wrote. It's pretty funny. Oh, VMe has arrived. This is amazing. Look at this. VMe, you are incredible. Thank you so much for showing up. I really appreciate you. If everybody does not know, VMe is the first person to ever donate on this channel. He's an OG. And he has arrived. Say hello to Daddy. He is home. Uh, how's it going, Beamy? How are you doing? I had to shout you out. You're too awesome. When you gonna activate Windows? Never, my man. Never. I dropped out of out of loop into that stream. Hey. Oh, we're having fun. Vimy has the best emotes. He's quick with them. What did I screw up? Unknown type name size T. So I'm gonna need like standard. Yeah. Okie dokie. Unknown type name node and main.c. And that would be because we never include the parser, but we're trying to use it. Why is it mad about assert? What are you... Too many errors. Oh, good. So we do use token... Oh, we didn't grab all of the parser. That's what's going wrong. Lamau. We have more parser to grab. We're having so much fun today. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I know a lot of you already are, but if you aren't, there's a Discord down below, unless you have an ad blocker. But there's a Discord down below, you can check it out, come hang out, send memes to each other, make friends. We all have fun. Okay, so now parser.h. We have more things to do, like parse expression. Get rid of all that, sure, this is some weird syntax, but it's fine. So now we have to go to the parser.c, add this. Hey, I'm listening again. Still 1080p. I'm so sorry. I honestly looked into it. I probably should do 720p 60. That's probably the best way to go. It just hurts my brain. It's like people have 4K monitors and I'm doing 720p. I feel like a pleb. Hey, Zigman arrived. That's right. Be me. You are the best. Lord MZTE loves Zig. You can write your own allocators and use custom allocators in Zig if you didn't know. He loves that, so. Yes. He has arrived. Ooh, I need to go above parse expression. Cool. Alright. We need error. Just for this. We could also do a forward declaration because it's an incomplete type, but it doesn't matter. We're also going to need environment, so it's something we got to do. Allocators. Jukia says 60 FPS for your 5 keys per second input. My guy, it's important. No, it's just for YouTube. The bitrate is so much higher. And I understand that bitrate may only come into account when things are changing on the screen, but it still is higher quality. And it hurts my brain to go, oh yeah, let's make it 720p. It doesn't matter when I have the ability for 1080. My brain's like that. It's like, I gotta be the best. Even if it's not the best. We gotta fix parse integer now. Parse integer, parser.c. Probably put that above parse expression. So why does this not return an error? What is wrong with me? 1080p VHS, rip. Vimy. With the crazy girl. With the crazy eyes, I would say. Okay, so now we need... Let's see, what do we got? That is a beautiful analogy. Exactly. Like the it's like the new music videos that put the VHS stuff on top and make it grainy. It's like we recorded this in 8K so that we can make it release it in 480p at 30 FPS. It's like, why? So parsing. I think we removed all parsing. Why is it mad about parser.h? Because parser.h is mad about itself. I see. We should move token. I think that would fix most things. 5 keys per second equals 300 keys per minute. Hell yeah. Each grain is the size of an anime avatar. Yeah, screw silver nitrate, or whatever it is. We don't need it. Screw the grains of silver. We're using avatar, anime avatars now to take pictures. I don't know why that's so funny to me, but it is. Sure. So now, are you happy? Also, I still have to do this for token string equal p. I'm working in a weird way today. Wonder if you could actually make like a convert the input from a digital camera sensor to like instead of making pixels, it uses different anime avatars of different brightnesses to create a picture. That'd be so ridiculous, but it'd be pretty awesome. Average English word as given by Wolfram Alpha is 5.1 letters, so it's 60 words per minute. That's pretty pog if we're doing if we're if we're doing code. Code at 60 words per minute is not bad. Not bad. Thank you, VMe, for these awesome numbers, by the way. He's diving deep. He's getting into the existential crisis of typing. Environment. Oh, I gotta do an if and def. I always forget. Oops, and I always press enter instead of tab. We have a little bit of some circular stuff here because the parser uses the environment and the environment uses nodes, which are from the parser. If you want to be very productive, you should aim for a typing speed of 65 to 70 words per minute. Fuck. It's easy with the right technique, as given by Typing Pal. Are they talking about code? Damn, man. I can't type that code that fast. I can type at like 150 words per minute if I just am typing words, like excerpts from books. That means that Lens is rather productive. Hey, me, coming in with the defense. Yeah, but not for code. That's just insane. Watch me go. uh, so we have parser.h, and this should have the definition of node. But parser.h cannot include environment. But parsing context needs environment. So we're going to have to separate node into its own file. Or something. Code that compiles or just code? Mr. Mugame, yes. I can write code at 100 words per minute, maybe even 200. Watch. It doesn't compile, but it's great. Comments. Yeah, just write everything you write. Also, you could probably also abuse copy-paste in code and get some pretty insane words per minute. So do we actually, in environment.h, need the parser? Or can we do a forward declaration? Is this how this works? Are you not happy? Struct node. Forward declaration of struct node. So maybe that's fine. But we can't use well, it's a pointer. Can we have pointers to incomplete types? Does anybody know? Python doesn't have to compile. Ooh, be me. Okay, I gotta start doing the same thing. Copy the whole thing. Get rid of that thing. Environment.h. Environment.c. We have environment create. We're gonna need standard lib for malloc and standard def, at least on Linux, for null. And also assert. Cool. Environment set. Give me that. Pop it here. We need node compare. So this definitely needs the parser, which is fine because it's an implementation. This is going to be, I think, the biggest issue. Snippets are amazing. I use snippet. I don't use it enough, but I do use it, like at least for if and defs at the beginning of header creation. Why are you mad? Assignment to an incomplete type. Okay, so did I put in quotes? I did put in quotes. My bad. So that's environment get. We can now get rid of this. Get by symbol, that's fine. Yeah, that just lets us use a string. I assume. Yeah, it returns same value as environment get. I should probably do like a reference here, but it's fine. Yeah, I'll just copy paste. But there's no reason to not have it. All right, we're making progress. How's everybody doing today? I'm doing great. I'm drinking cocainum out of a Red Bull can. I think that's what we call it around here, cocainum. It makes me very energized and I talk very fast. Right? Parser.h, parser.c. We now need environment. Also in this file I kind of mixed, and in the other ones I separated them. The standard library and our own. It doesn't matter. Wonderful. What do we have? Environment in parser.h. Are we allowed, so in environment, oh god. We don't have to include parser. So now in parser, we can include environment. We could also just do another, or let's just try the same thing. Why not pragma once? I feel like pragma is just, it's gonna go away. I don't trust it, and I don't like it, so I don't use it. I use it when I have to, for like cross-platform, what is it, bit fields or no, packing of structs. But pragma is just confusing. It's like, when are things activated and when are they not? Is it a file basis? If you pragma in a header and then include that header, is the pragma set in the included file? Like, there's so many things that just don't make sense and aren't really written down anywhere. Or they are and are just not taught very often. But the if not defined is very clear, like, oh, if this is not defined, none of this happens. I get it. Conditional compilation, easy. But the pragmas are like something on top of conditional compilation that I don't understand fully. So, yeah. That's my little rant on pragmas for you. So pointers to incomplete types are just fine and dandy. Pragma once has the advantage of not scanning tons and tons of files. That's true. The compiler is able to add them to a list instead of having to do conditional compilation, but Not too bad. Oh, Zigman. Oh, first time chat from a viewer, Landar XT. How's it going, Landar? How are you doing today? We're working on a compiler. Lord MZTE Zigman says, fun fact, conditional compilation in Zig is literally an if statement. Can't you do like hashtag if or something and that's like runs at compile time? If I remember correctly. I don't remember correctly many things. This is awful. How are we gonna fix this? How does this look? That's awful. We're gonna go with that. No, you don't need a hash. Lol. GCC says Pragma once avoids rereading header files. You're correct, Jukia. Absolutely, I agree with you. Because it has to check for if this is defined in any of the other included files before it can do anything. Whereas Pragma once, it doesn't matter. There's no macro it has to check. It just checks its internal list of files. Zig runs stuff at compile time when it can. If you want to force it to, you can use the comp time keyword. Gotcha. I'm probably thinking of Jai. So Zig, interesting. So Zig just tries to make everything compile time. Also, Pragma can boost compile time in some cases. Probably in large files. Large, like, code bases. I would agree. I think it's going to be done a different way in the future. Because I don't think new C compilers, are going to be written with all these fancy pragmas for warnings and stuff like that. Unless that's how people want to work, and I'm just wrong. Okay, so we didn't add CMake. We didn't add the environment header, or not header, implementation to our build. Hey, look! We are now split into 5 different files: main.c, parser.c, fileio.c, environment.c, and error.c. Wonderful. New C compilers? Do you think we're just going to use the same ones forever, my guy? Yeah, new C compilers. I mean, I agree that, like, enterprise, they're going to want to use the tried and trusted compilers because they don't understand what they are, and they don't want to do stuff like that. Yes, we're going to use the same ones forever. Just write your own C compiler. P.S. You can write it in C. Exactly. The current C compilers are written in C++. Get that? Wrap your head around that one. So we compile now. This is awesome. We're back. We're back where we started. We're back better than ever. We just have to figure out what the hell to do now. This is a much better main file. Okay, let's do a get to commit some stuff. So we're going to need to add CMake lists. Definitely add main.c. I think all of these. And should be it. Just write your... Are there any other languages that have had rewritten compilers at later stages in their life? Something, this language called C, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's had a few different compilers come up and go. You know what I mean? One day someone will write C or C++ compiler in Rust, and I'll find that person and go bananas with a baseball bat. Yes, VMe, you have the right idea. Just call me up. I'll be there with an aluminum baseball bat. Because you know what I mean? And I'll have like thick rubber gloves so my hands don't get wrung out. I'm ready. Just look at major changes in GCC. Yeah, exactly. And also, like, look at Clang and LLVM, and the worst part is it'll actually be faster. Oh, Rust is not faster. It's just different. It's also hard to write code in if you have learned any other programming language. They have this very specific ecosystem. Like, what if everything on the heap, we called it a box? And it's like, that's just confusing. What? Why? What is a box? Boxes are other things. MZTE. VMe says, it won't run faster. No, no, no. MZTE says, yeah, C is faster if you write it right. I would love to find some C code. But the thing is, Rust is also fast if you don't write it right. You can't write wrong Rust. The compiler won't let you. It just keeps giving you errors that go back and forth. I've literally had errors in Rust when I was learning it that say like, remove this colon, it shouldn't be here. And then you remove the colon and it says, there should be a colon in this spot. Why'd you remove it? And it just goes back and forth on the error. Like, it doesn't know what's up. And people don't tend to write C fast. Have you seen how fast this compiler has gotten up and running, my guy? It's been like a few days of work. I'm just saying. It's just what you're used to, right? I'm sure people can learn Rust and write it efficiently. But if you learn other languages first, it's a completely different paradigm. Also, I've been live almost an hour. I want to thank everybody for watching, and I also want to point you to the Discord down below. I know a lot of you are already there. And we just have a lot of fun. Every time I go live, I make an announcement so you get to see when I go live, and we also get to send memes to each other and make friends. It's a lot of fun. Join, I promise. It won't be that bad. Landar XT followed 4 minutes ago. Thank you so much, Landar. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching. And hopefully you stick around for this compiler to get working. Split main.c, whoops, main.c into multiple files. Restructuring, sure. Rust is worse than brainfuck, changed my mind. Mr. Mugame, you are absolutely right. LandRXT says, I just got a Discord friend request from someone with the name Glock17fan999. I don't know what that's about. I don't think anybody like that is in our Discord. Yeah, nobody like that's in our Discord. I'm sorry about that, my guy. Vimi says, I'm on your side to Mr. Mugame. Rust is worse than brainfuck. Changed my mind. We should make a t-shirt. LandRXT says no need. We're having so much fun. Okay, we can make this commit day. I just want to catch up on some stuff. And we're going to push it. Push it, push it. If you check the GitHub down below, all the code we've written so far will now be there. Hooray! We did it. It wasn't related to you. I just found it funny, the friend request. Oh, nice, Landar. I just shouted out my Discord. I was like, hopefully we don't have someone like doxing or going through and being an ass. I can ban them. But that's good to hear. That is hilarious. Somebody named Glock17fan999. That's probably a Juice WRLD reference, 999. RIP, by the way. Okay, so now, high level, what does this program do? We need to, so we use, okay. We get past a file, and we're supposed to compile it. This is a compiler, that's right. We get past a file, we're supposed to compile it. We kind of ensure that here. Also, I should probably make sure that contents exists. I know I do an if, but it's kind of a rightward drift. Ooh, are any of you following Serenity OS? Andreas Kling? Have you seen Yacht, that new language? There's something from Yacht that I definitely want to steal. Because Yacht is very cool, and they came up with something called a guard statement. And you can put a condition in here. We could actually guard contents, and then have a body that says, like, exit 1 after printing couldn't get file contents. And this is actually a compile. Basically, the compiler knows that this condition will always be true after this guard statement within this scope. So what it can do is say, oh, contents can be dereferenced and it will never be a problem, and stuff like that, because you have a guard statement. But that would be very cool to have in our language, where you could like guard the further code from this condition. But if any of you are following Yacht, it's an amazing language, Jakt, and Serenity OS in general is just sweet. It's so inspiring. Okay, so high level, currently, we get a file's contents, and we... What do we do? Thank you everybody so much for watching. Make sure to hit that follow button if you want to get notified of following streams. And also, check out the Discord down below. You get notified every time I go live. And also, hang out and make friends. Message me. Do all sorts of things. I will ask, if you have the extra money hanging around, I do have a donate button down below. I don't have any source of income in my life. I'm working on that, obviously, but it would be amazing. Maybe we could upgrade the stream, actually get some better hardware. Maybe not a keyboard that isn't so goddamn clicky and loud. We'll see how it goes. I know that isn't a problem for you unless I'm talking, but still. We can improve things around here. It'd be great. So yeah, there's that, only if you can. I don't want to steal money you need. Keep your money if you need it. But if you have extra money laying around, that would be incredible. Anyways, sell Lenser OS to Red Hat. Lamau. Yeah, tell him it's like, oh yeah, it's the most securest fucking OS you've ever seen, guys. Lord MZTE says, I like clicky keyboards. You know, I have too for the last 15 years. I've liked clicky keyboards. But the problem is, after typing for like 2 hours, my ears get tired. And I feel like a little baby. I'm like, oh, my ears hurt just because I've been typing on my keyboard that's too loud. I'm like, this is a problem. Mr. Mugame, probably checking out Yacht, says, looks pretty interesting. It has some of the cool Rust features like traits and generic enums. Yeah, it's actually got some of the Rust people working on it, like Systems with JT. I think it's John Turner. But he's actually used to work on the Rust codebase. I think he still does. But he also created new shell, which is written in Rust. It's a shell that I use in my terminal. When I use the external terminal, I use new shell, which is written in Rust. Just because it's the best shell. If there's a better shell. I know Fish is pretty good too. But yeah, Yacht is very promising. LandRXT says, back, my internet was having problems. My bad. See, all the, everybody tells you to stream at a high bitrate. Lord MZTE, Cherry Browns? Okay, so tactile switches, that's actually what I'm looking into getting next. I'm gonna try and get a keyboard with silent tactile switches. I've tried new shell, but I've deemed it not production ready. You're right, it's still in beta pretty much. Lord MZTE says, nah, Cherry Reds, but my next keyboard is Cherry Browns. Reds are just too mushy for me. Like blues have a click and they're already mushy. If you've used other clicky keys, like Cherry MX blues are mushy as hell, which is what I have right now. Cherry MX, Bash. Bash is the best if you're on Unix, but there's no good Bash on Windows, sadly. They have like terrible ports, sadly. I mean, they're okay, but they work for Git and stuff, but it's not all there. Browns are my personal fave. Nice. I think tactile switches are the future. Because clicky is just too annoying for my ears, but I still like feeling the bump right at the top of the key press. So I think tactiles are where it's at. And I think the like rubber domes are going to stick around for a long time, just because they're cheap to make. Fish is best if you're on Unix. It can be. PowerShell is not bad. It's not bad if you can deal with the 4 verbs they use. You have get contents, you have get name, you have get everything. What is the new thing on Windows? CMD, PowerShell, Windows Terminal, Cygwin? Windows Terminal is what I use. But I use new shell within Windows Terminal, because Windows Terminal can run new shell, PowerShell, Git bash, whatever. It's like a terminal dock. Also, I gotta start making work. I'm just talking here. Also, I said that weird, making work. It's the idea is that we basically should just say this, while contents iterator and contents iterator. Okay, here's the thing. So when we parse, how do we say that there is nothing left? Fish isn't standard, Lord MZT is replying to and says, which is a good thing if your standard is the mess that is POSIX. Man, POSIX is great. Lord MZTE, I missed some, says, by the way, I've started writing my code to not work on Linux and writing :// if you're on Windows, screw you, lol, at the start of files. Lamau. Not work on Windows, then he corrects himself. Zish is best. Zish isn't bad. ZSH, how do you say that? Zish is a pretty good shell. It's been around for long enough. It's like, it's solid. We are hanging out and having fun. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Let's make some progress. So we have this program, and currently the issue will come out. You can see that we try to parse this file, this example file. Standards are in place for a reason. POSIX is great because it allows interchangeability. Exactly. VME has the idea. Like POSIX, you can implement parts of and have entire groups of programs running. It's really cool. As evident by Serenity OS, I guess. They were able to port like Git in the first 6 months of creating the OS. It's insane. Just because they went for POSIX support. LandRXT says he'll be right back. I'm going to go again quickly to switch to my Linux machine. Nice. What a baller. Lord MZTE says, yeah, and that's why it's good to have Bash as runtime for scripts, but it's complete trash in terms of user friendliness, so considering that it's completely unsuitable as an actual shell, Fish is the way to go, but I'm not someone who writes scripts in Fish. So you're saying for like, yeah, for an interpreted script, you want Bash to have it just down at the level. But when you're writing, like when you're using a shell, you want something a little more high level and user friendly. I get what you're saying, Lord MCTE. Zigman. Mr. Mugame, I use Python as my shell. Ooh, he's doing those system calls. So funny. Vimi says, if you don't know how to configure your bash to be user-friendly and like to use batteries included vegan alternatives, you can use Fish. Damn. Vimi destroys Zigman. KO. IPython, I hope. Oh god. No. Interactive Python. So we have a program, but we're only parsing a singular expression from it, and then we do not continue. So we need to try and continue. No, batteries included is bad, but Bash's syntax is already bad for a shell. It's got non-configurable aspects that are completely unusable. Maybe. I think Bash is still very usable, especially if you have to SSH into places. I guess ZSH is pretty good for that too. I see what you guys are saying. Batteries included isn't necessarily bad. It's okay to take a helping hand from some software. So we need some way within the parser for parse expression to return something that designates the end of parsing, like end of file, done. And it's the typical phenomenon of standards generally being terrible that's also plagued Bash. I bet my keyboard I can implement any Fish user-friendly feature in Bash shell. Ooh, Vimi bets his keyboard. That's serious for a programmer. That's like betting your own ass. Lord MZTE, proper if syntax. Parentheses instead of dollar parentheses. Does that really matter? The if syntax of Bash does suck, but the parentheses, does that really matter? It's just a dollar sign. So our issue... So what happens if we try and lex nothing? I don't think we protect against that, do we? We do. We say it equals 1. So at some point, do we get a token if we lex over and over? Do we get a token that is /0? Then they're going to be the same. See, that's how this... Yes. Oh, so is that right? I don't think that's right. So if the beginning is an... Okay, that's right. Never mind. Dollar being a bad syntax aspect. PHP coders are loading their guns. That's right. So Mr. Mugume, did you work on your... It was Eternal Wild Fox. I remember now. Eternal Wild Fox, working on the Chip 8 project in PHP. We talked about that today. PHP coders, I think that terminology is contradictory. Hey, be nice now, Zigman. There are people that use things other than Zig, and they're useful, I promise. Eternal Wild Fox is creating a Chip 8 emulator and virtual machine and assembler and compiler. I don't even know. There's so much going on in that PHP project, but he's creating it all in PHP. It's incredible. He already has a disassembler working. It's really cool. I'd say that's coding in PHP. What about you, Zigman? Oh, thank you everybody so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Be sure to check out those links down below if you're curious. Do some internet surfing. Yeah, dude. Do some surfing on the net. Yeah. Is anybody into that character, like the beach guy? No? So our parser has to end somehow. Currently what happens if token length? We just break, in which case we return error. So it'd be ideal if we could do something here that tells us, hey, we're done. Don't be salty. Any turn complete thing is fine if you boil it down to basics. Yeah, Vimy. I think that's a funny joke. It's like a brainfuck interpreter written in brainfuck. Funny. My guy, you're just being rude now. Alright. So we need to... Mr. Mugabe says, Eternal Wild Fox already has it nearly working, while Lord MZTE is still trying to get his allocator working, but at least his syntax looks nice. Ooh, shots fired back from Mr. Mugabe. That's beautiful. And then Zigman says exactly. Ooh, roasted. He had nothing in response. He got exactly. That's all he had. He reached into his holster, he pulled out exactly. Oh shit, we're having so much fun today. Getting stuff working terribly is easy. Doing things right is the hard part. Yeah, that's why getting stuff working is actually more important, my guy. Because you can get stuff working and then get it right. Your argument is fundamentally flawed. It's not. You can get stuff working quickly in a way that isn't the best, and then you can identify which areas need to be better and go in and fix them targeted style and actually like have a plan. Programming time is completely irrelevant. That's right. Who cares about how long it takes to program? It's all about what the program does, right? Getting good software is the goal. Who cares about good software? I ask you, who's buying like, hey man, you got the best software out there for me? What you got? What you got? Like, what are you talking about, man? Why is that the goal? I'm sorry I won't wait for your hello world for 3 months. I will ask Mr. Mugume to code it in 2 seconds. Yeah, Vimy, exactly. If you're using PHP, you're wasting your time. Man, MZTE, you're gonna get a timeout saying things like that. You're being rude. You gotta take into consideration other people, otherwise you're not allowed here. Because you just cannot achieve good software in PHP. And then Lord MZTE says that's a you problem. My guy? My guy? You're on the edge. I have the timeout button ready. Don't make me do it. I don't want to. We can all be friends here, man. Don't be rude. Not everybody writes in Zig, okay? All right. Let's do this. So we, in the parser, currently have this happen. And I'm guessing that this gets us to, well, that would only happen at the very end of parsing. So currently, we just need to actually call the parser over and over. But we need some condition. That's where I'm at. That's right. We need some condition to be able to check that the parser is actually not parsed anything. So, okay, here's an interesting idea. No, because I will have working software. Mr. Mugame will have money for a job well done, and you will be sitting thinking about how cool and efficient Zig is, yet dev cycle takes 2 years to go one full circle. Oh! Again, me with the truth bombs. Hell yeah. me, you are the best. You're absolutely right. Don't let this guy get you worked up either. I'll time him out in a second. Ah, yes, all that matters is money and not how well the product works. That's what we're talking about. That's our argument, is that you need to get it working. My guy, you're going in circles now. You're going in circles now, I promise, okay? As long as you can make loads of money by selling bad software, it's good, of course. I think you're missing the point. All right. This will be much better. I promise, guys. PHP is a backbone of like 70% of internet stores and shit, and no one is complaining. That's right, no one is complaining. And for the next 10 minutes, nobody will. Isn't that awesome? Let's go. Let's do this, me. Me and you, buddy. To the end. Let's have some fun. Let's figure this stuff out. Okay, we need to figure out how to return something. What if we set end to null? What if we set end to null? That's not that helpful, is it? What if we just use the same metric and say, so current token end is contents it. So while that, do this. So if error happens, we will print it. But you're absolutely right, Vimy. PHP is the backbone of like so many internet servers. It's insane. Like even Discord has PHP in their web stack. You know what I mean? PHP is seen everywhere. It's kind of ridiculous to argue against it. Zigman will argue against anything, I think, is what's going on. In a few minutes, I'm sure he'll be back with a very well-articulated argument. Hopefully it's polite so we can keep him. Best programming language is pseudocode. It runs on the most efficient processor, your brain. That's actually cool. That thought. You almost just gave me goosebumps, dude. That's cool. So the best programming language is pseudocode because it runs on the most efficient processor, your brain. That is dope. Vimy, I really appreciate you around here. Hey, Landar says, I'm back now. Sorry it took so long. I got logged out of my Twitch on Linux. Don't worry about it, Landar. It is all good. We're going to be here for a while. It's a compiler. It takes a long time. Hopefully we get some less interruptions now as well. There's been a little bit of a moderation. So then we can print error if there's an error, and then we can just exit for now. I guess that's fine to exit. Or we could break out of the loop. Sure. AI pseudocode compiler? Vme says, sending you extra cred for Linux to Landar XT. Hell yeah. Thank you everybody so much for watching. We're having so much fun. Okay, so while contents iterator, keep on parsing and print the program once you're done, because it should have the children of all the expressions. I kind of just want to make this a forever and then make, because we have a break and a break, let's try that. If not that, break. Well, that, yeah, that should just be the end with no error. Firefox logged me out of everything. Great. Ooh. Landar, I'm so sorry. I hate getting logged out of shit. It's like, I don't even... This is why I write down my passwords on paper. And keep it in a safe. Vimy says, man after my own heart, talking to Mr. Mugame. Because he says AI pseudocode compiler. That's right. An AI pseudocode compiler would be pretty sweet. I don't know if the compiler is driven by AI or if the pseudocode is generated by AI and then that's compiled, but the idea is sweet. It's awesome all around. .cache got effed up. God damn. Keep ass succeed, my dudes. Is that a... That's probably an emote I don't have. Oh, and then Craigasm. The classic Craigasm. It's Wednesday, my dudes. Oh, hey look. We're infinite looping. That's not good. So this never stops. That's wonderful. Let's think about that. Okay. So every time we lex, do we have to set the end there? Is that what our issue is? Is it that we lex without setting the end right away and we return in between? We're gonna try. We're gonna try. A little bit of a move. Oops. End, please. Lex star n, lex star n, lex star n. Okay. Waterfox agree. Probably more emotes I don't have. Okay, we're still getting more infinite variable declarations, so that's fun. So let's think about this. So instead of forever, do this once. And yes, I know we can't break out of nothing. Ooh, so we'll also probably just comment out whatever we... Here, let's redo this a little bit. Okay. So after one time, I would like to print out contents iterator as a string. So we should get the contents of the file here, but here we should get the contents of the file minus something. Vault Warden aggregate. Landar says, I've never heard of it, but never thought of using it. Because KeepAssXC is a password manager, but it is not on some server, it's in local file. Ooh, that's really cool. Vimy says, because it's a file, you can transfer it, you can webdidav it. I don't even know what that is. Bitwarden is nice, you can self-host it, but I kind of grew out of it. Nice. We are having fun. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Remember, there's some links down below. If you don't have an ad blocker, there's a Discord. You can check it out, get announcements whenever I go live, talk to each other, talk to me, all sorts of that stuff. Contents it then equals 69. No, but so we get our variable declaration, but we're not actually getting the initialization. So then when we go here, why does this not error, right? Password manager, better than everything. Yeah. So the idea is we're encountering something we shouldn't, but we're not actually erroring out. So we parse something, right? We didn't print intermediate node or unrecognized token. So let's see if we can run. Can we run this like 3 times? Just simply? Is that possible? See that errored out. So you would think, right? A password manager is really useful. Absolutely. It's almost necessary in the modern world to keep track. You have so many. Or you have to do it all yourself. Nice. We're just looping infinitely, silently. That's fun. So that might be a problem. So that's interesting. I wish I could kill the compilation process without killing the buffer. Ooh, code challenge just crossed my mind. 30-minute password manager in C. That's pretty cool. It wouldn't, like, you'd have to use a crypto library or something if you want to be secure, right? Because you're not going to write your own. VMe says, I'm coding tonight. Hell yeah. Code it up, my guy. Okay, so why does this run forever? Just a 30-minute coding challenge, nothing serious. Yeah, just something that kind of stores passwords. I'm Sean Connery again. Something that stores passwords and like hashes them. And generates like some silly random passwords that are just nonsense. Hard to brute force. So we get variable declaration A over and over again. It'd be weird if we're looping somewhere else. Like if node add child is broken, we could be looping here and print node. Yeah, I think that may be what's going on. So I think maybe we are actually here. Hi, Mom. Yeah. Hey, look, that's actually really cool. We get an invalid type at 420 because it doesn't understand, hey, we're trying to... So it treats equals as an unknown symbol and then says, hey, we don't know what equals is. So then 69 becomes the type. Unrecognized token 69. So we just skip it, it looks like. Is that really what happens when we have an unrecognized token? So that's number one. There's an error we can fix there. Your Bond, James Bond. Yeah. Yes. And then he said, and then you have the James Bond music written out. That's incredible. So in the parser, we have to return unrecognized token. We should probably prep an error here. VMe, you are so awesome. Thank you for being so positive. Oh, and a lurker. We have a lurker follow, everybody. Let's get that lurker in chat. Hey, Don_breaker07. Thank you so much for following. If you're new here, I'm sure you are because you just followed, check out the Discord down below. It's linked if you don't have an ad blocker. You can come there, hang out, get notifications every time I go live, message me, message all the other people that watch, lurk. Hey, VMe, we got a lurk in the chat. Hell yeah. VMe is the best. The best viewer. Number one viewer, VMe. But Dawnbreaker, you're pretty up there. Thank you so much for following. I really appreciate it. Check out that Discord. GitHub, all this code is open source. You can check that out if you're interested. And any questions, feel free to ask them. I'll try and answer. I get very distracted fast, so you'll be good at it. What type is this? This would be an error syntax, I guess? Because we don't know what the hell this token is. And we say, parsing unrecognized token reached during parsing. Is that fine? Check out Lenser OS. Hey, thank you, Vini. Absolutely. I wrote an entire OS. It's on my GitHub. It's 64-bit x86 64 based on UEFI, if you're interested in that. I wrote a text editor, and I'm writing a text editor in an OS. I guess is how I should say it. They're still works in progress. But yeah, Light is a text editor. We got Lenser OS, which is an OS. We have, what else do we have? We have Korth, which is like a stack-based programming language, compiles to x86 64. Hey, we did it. So now we've stopped parsing at unrecognized token 69 because we try and say equals, but then we go, hey, I don't know what you have, sir. So after an unknown symbol, okay, yeah, so we've lexed an unknown symbol. And then we go, okay, let's try and figure out if this is a variable declaration or stuff. Okay. LandRXT, dude, cheer up. Yes, there will be people who criticize, but there will be people who generally will help you improve and point out problematic places. Absolutely. Vimy may have said it a little harshly, but I think his heart is in the right place. Landar. This is in response to Landar saying, most of my code is never open source because it's so bad nobody would have any use for it. It's not about people finding use for it, my guy, because, listen, this code is terrible that I'm writing. This code is not like how you're supposed to write code, but people are watching me write it, and it's open source on GitHub. But that means that if you want to fix it, and you're smart enough to, you can do that. So this program, if you need it, you can just fix it up in a few seconds because you go, oh, this is a bit bad code here, bad code here. Someone else could come in and fix it themselves. Or they could even help you and say, hey, I made these changes. And then you could see, oh, those are changes that probably make it better. Or no, most likely is what's going to happen. Nobody will even look at it, my guy. Because who's searching for your name on GitHub? You know what I mean? Because if you just go to GitHub, there's not like, where, is there an Explorer? Let's hit Explore. Do you think you're going to pop up here? Are you worried about people that go through the GitHub Explorer finding you? Like, I don't think it's a big deal. Let's check out C. Right? Most of the they say, see, these are very popular. NeoVim, 60K. It's like code reviews at work. Ignore trolls, listen to people who want to help. Exactly. Bike shedding. So many people just bike shed, like Mr. Zig. But bike shedding is the act of just making small things a big deal in coding and trying to make it like, oh, it's your work isn't acceptable until you've done this. And it's like, well, that doesn't matter. The code works. But VMe has the right idea. Even code reviews at work are just suggestions. It's like, well, the code works, so don't tell me shit. You have all the power. So once we find a valid type, don't we have to... Let's check for initialization before we create a var-decal. Well, we're going to need a var-decal with a type anyway. We just need to check... Okay, yeah. This is fine. To do check for equals initialization operator or something. It may be good... Ooh, okay. It would be cool in an operator environment or like built-in operator environment to have these built-ins, and then we could just look up initialization operator and it would return equal. So then we could check if that matches. But that would allow us to do things like redefine the equals operator in the language itself, which would allow people to do crazy things, right? Mr. Mugame says, I just do it for backup and version control. Exactly, that's why I did it for the OS, because there's so many moving pieces that I didn't want to, I screwed them up at every section and it wouldn't compile. And I was like, okay, I just want to get it back to working again and then start again. And without Git, that's almost impossible. VMe says, I have my local repo, but if code compiles, tests don't fail, it's good enough to go to private repo, and that's what my Jenkins does. Nice. Hey, we got more Halilu coming back. How's it going? Public, sorry. Nice, VMe. Means public. It's good enough to go public repo. That's what I think. Like, if you look at all the code, if you truly are embarrassed, I don't want to go to the wrong one. I was like, ooh. I don't know if you saw me hesitate there. Just go look at my terrible code and you'll feel better about yourself, my guy. Like, look at Korth. That'll be a good one. Look at Korth. Korth is awful. Look at the source. It's like, oh, okay, you have, oh, there's 2 files. Look at how long this goddamn file is. It's ridiculous. VMe says, ahoy to Moralilu. How's it going, Moralilu? How'd you end up here? I know we saw you a few days ago. I really appreciate that. You followed. We're having a fun time. I'm in the disco, saw the notif. Hey! Dance it out, my guy. Hell yeah. But yeah, this code is like, look at all these nested if, and I'm making system calls that are like just using things that aren't checked for. It's horrible. This is horrible code. And most of it's just duplicate code. Like why did I not make generating assembly into their own dictionaries based on the token? Instead, I made it like this giant if else. It's like everything here is stupid, right? But it's open source and it has like 17 stars because I posted it on Reddit. So it doesn't matter if what you make is good. It just has to be like, it just has to work, right? And people will go, oh, this is cool, or oh, this is dumb. And even then, you don't have to listen to what people think. You can think whatever you want. Like, I think all my code is actually pretty cool. It's not good code, but it's pretty cool. It just has to be on Reddit. Exactly. Post it on Reddit, you'll get millions of views. It'll happen immediately. Moralilu says, I was inspired by you to take another try at my Lisp. I realized I went in with a bunch of bad assumptions, so I restarted, and I just now got functions implemented. What? That's awesome. That's so cool, my guy. So you're applying functions from Lisp, and you're like calling them from your C runtime? Like your C interpreter is running Lisp functions? That's so cool. I'm so glad to hear that, my guy. I love seeing people create things and have it work and then be happy and proud of what they made. It's so cool to see. So we can check for the initialization operator. I am not making a lot of progress today. So how did I need my little blump from before. Yeah, I just need this. Yoink. Well, it's not written in C, but yeah, something like that. Nice, that's right. I forget other people write things that aren't in the C language. Lamal, sorry about that, my guy. I was coming in with a bunch of bad assumptions as well, obviously. Oh, what language did you write it in? I'm so curious. I'm sure you've told me before, but I'm like a goldfish. You might have to tell me again. That's really cool, my guy. I'm so happy to hear that you created your own Lisp language. Like you've created your own programming language. You're amazing. So many people don't know how to do that, and they're too scared to try because they might fail. But you did it. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, VMe. We got the dancing cat emoji. That means VMe is hyped. You know what that means, VMe? We are excited. Moralilu, we are excited about your compiler, your Lisp runtime, now having functions. That is so cool to me. I didn't tell you. It's written in Rust now. If you want to do some code review, I can send the repo. I don't know if I can review Rust code. I don't know Rust. The Rust compiler probably knows Rust better than I do. That's really cool, my guy. Feel free to link the repo. I definitely want to star it so I can follow its progress. But feel free to link it in chat. There was no repercussions. Unless you like give me a virus from the link, then there will be repercussions. Surely the Rust compiler needs to know Rust super well. That's a good point. That may have not been a good comparison. I would say like a junior dev in Rust knows much more than me in Rust then. Like if you know how to work like the static lifetimes or do anything more complicated than static lifetimes, I mean, then you're way ahead of me. Boxes are just annoying to me. I get why the abstraction is useful, but come on. So here's an interesting thing to do. Stack-based continuation. To evaluate, to parse, assignment, expression. Oh boy, I do not understand lifetimes. I just like the union types. Moralilu, we may be more alike than I initially thought. Rust lifetimes give me hell. I'm like, just let me create things and use them. I don't know how long it's gonna live yet. It's so good. The union types in Rust, I don't actually know about that. Is there something cool about them? I know enums are able to have values, which is very, very cool, and types. That's like incredible. Hey, we got another follow. Thank you, Draco OX191. What is that? 401 in decimal. Draco OX191, also known as Draco 401, followed. Thank you so much for the follow. We got another lurk follow. Can we get a lurk in chat? Thank you so much for the follow, Draco. I'm gonna give you my little spiel. There's a Discord link down below if you don't have ad blocker, and you can check that out. We have fun. I make announcements every time I go live, and look, Lander joined today. Thank you so much, LandarXT. I really appreciate that. And yeah, we all send memes, talk to each other, talk to me. It's all fun. We have so much fun. I really recommend it. Daddy's home. VMe with the lurk again. You are killing it, VMe. Thank you so much for being here. You make my day brighter, VMe. Draco, thank you so much for coming here. There's also the GitHub down below if you want to check out code. I've written an OS, or I'm writing an OS. I'm writing a text editor. That's there. This code is here that we're writing now, this compiler. It's all fun. You better activate Windows or Bill Gates is going to kill your entire family. Good luck. I would have a sword battle with Bill Gates. Just for fun. Like, to the death. I think that would be sweet. Oh man, this is gonna be rough. Ooh, first time chat from a new viewer. How's it going? Booster TV. Oh, another first time chat. 2 first time chats at once, chat. Oh my god. This is amazing. Thank you so much for watching. We're having so much fun. Good thing we got rid of Zigman. Lord, that was rough. Or he's still here lurking. In which case, I appreciate you for being polite now. Oh my god, another first time chat. We had so many viewers. Yes. This is awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. We have Booster TV. Have you seen Temple OS by Terry Davis? I'll get to it. First time chat from viewer by Draco OX191. Compiler dev and in C equals instant follow. Thank you so much, Draco. First time chat from another viewer. This is so sweet. Nolan. Just a little Nolan. And another one. Awesome. He followed that hype train up. Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Nolan. Thank you so much, Draco. Thank you so much, Fooster. I really appreciate having you all here. I feel slightly special for arriving a while before this rush. Landar, hell yeah, you're a hipster now. You were here before it was cool, man. Oh, we got a heart from Nolan. I gotta show that. We get a heart from Nolan. Thank you so much, Nolan. I love you too. And Landar, I love you too. Thank you for being here. Ah! I got stuck on the edge of my screen. Lenzar says, yeah, I was talking about enums basically. Nice. That's really cool. Ooh, you linked to GitHub? Okay. I'm looking at it. This is the link in chat by Moralilu. It looks like what is this? It's like JSON, but with functions. Yes. Okay, this is cool. Ooh, I'm not logged in on this. I'll go to my other browser. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Be sure to follow if you like what you're seeing. And down below, there's a Discord. You can get notifications every time I go live. There's also a donate button if you have extra money, but I do not want to pressure you. Keep your money if you need it. But if you have extra money, of course, I would generously appreciate it. And any notes you make, I will read on stream if you prefer that. You'll get a shout out. But yeah, join the Discord. We have a ton of fun. And okay, I've started this now on my proper browser. Sorry about doing stuff off screen. Okay, and Fooster TV asked me about Temple OS. That's right. Oh yeah, and the enums. So the enums can be null, a number, a string, a list. Oh, and they have types. So, they can have different types. Okay, that blew my mind. I thought it just had like the C++ typed enums. But you can actually have a string enum and a number enum as a singular. Oh, that's cool. You can have functions with. Okay. Rust, they did that right, because that is very cool. Whatever this stuff is, I don't think they did right. But this is right. This is incredible. You can have different types within a single enum. That's for different values. Okay, now let's get to, we got asked about Temple OS, right? Temple OS, I've heard about it. I've watched a lot of videos on Terry Davis. He's very cool, and he actually inspired me to feel like maybe one guy can make an OS. Maybe it's not so insane, right? And if you're insane, maybe it'll help. Thank you, Moralilu, for pointing out that enums are so cool in Rust. I didn't know that. Vme says, point sword at Bill Gates. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Exactly. I have the power of the Lord and anime on my side. Then just go Super Saiyan on him. Okay, now Fooster TV says, it's quite an impressive feat. Though the person who wrote the OS suffered from schizophrenia, sadly he died in an incident related to his illness. Yeah, most people with schizophrenia tend to die that way. Sadly, it's I have experience with that in real life. It's not a good illness. It's like Alzheimer's, but way worse. And it happens young. It's terrible. Mr. Mugame, derive is nice. Okay, derive, it auto implements traits. That's why I kind of don't like it. It's never been described to me. Like, how does derive actually work and how can I use it? And even in the Rust book, it's not really that clear what's going on. Is there any good illnesses? I think there's one that makes you like orgasm constantly, right? I think that one it might not be the end of the world. Nice commit text. Rewrite it in Rust, baby. Is that the commit text on the link from Moralilu? If it is, that's incredible. I gotta check. Oh, it is. Moralilu, you are incredible. Yeah! Rewrite it in Rust, baby! The memer himself, Moralilu. So incredible. Okay, I'm falling so far behind on chat. I'm sorry. Oh, and we got a follow. Nolan, thank you so much for let me choke on my words. Nolan, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. Mr. Mugame says, huh. Uh, Mr. Mugame says, but please don't go insane. Vme says, also it kind of tickles my atheistic brain in a bad way. Temple OS tickles his atheistic brain. Lamau Vme, you're the best. Landar says, is there any good illnesses? That's right. Vme says, there is. It makes your skin look younger and softer. Sorry, I'm too big of a House MD fan. House is a good show. It's not realistic at all, but they say cool words in like orders that I've never heard them before, and it's like, yeah, I'm a doctor. I get to feel confident. So this would require kind of reworking how parsing works in general. So for now, fix me. This recursive call is kind of the worst. So now we would have to parse expression. Signed expr. It's never lupus. That's right. Oh, I forgot their obsession with lupus. It's not lupus. So can I just pass in source? Where do I want to start? I think like this. Yes. And then assigned expr. Parsing is hard. I'm pretty sure I've written the world's worst JSON parser. If it works, it's not the world's worst one, because people have tried and failed many a time, I promise. Especially in Rust, my guy, that's amazing. Ooh, hopefully you didn't just hear my stomach. That was awful. We have so many viewers in here. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really want to thank you for spending time in this stream and hanging out. We're all having fun, laughing together. If you would like, follow, stick around. There's Discord down below, links. There's a donate button. I'm sure you know what that does. I really appreciate it if you would, but I don't want to take your money. If you need it, keep it. You haven't seen JSON Logic's parser, my dude. Oh man, is that the part? Didn't somebody write a like cursed JavaScript that looks like brainfuck and they made a JSON parser? I can't remember. I think I saw that on YouTube a few months ago. Landar says, I could try to make one worse if that makes you feel better. That's really funny. I can make it worse. So this parse expression will then go back up here. So now we need to do like, if this returns an error, that's a problem, right? Do we have error? We do. So we can just use error. We can use this right here to say, if there is an error, return it. We're not lexing, so we don't need to do that. And then we just need to say something like this. So this handles a variable declaration return value. This handles a variable declaration initialized. Well, that's actually, we're going to do the same thing. We'll just have this assignment happen. So the stream is the perfect amount of chatters where we can all talk actively and chat isn't too fast. Lendar. Thank you, Lendar. That's awesome. It's true. I get to read everybody's messages. I really feel like that's so cool. Morlilu says, if I have not, do I need to? Asking Vme about the JSON logic parser. Thank you, Landar. I agree. It's really cool to be able to read all of your messages and not make anyone feel missed out. As long as nobody is Zigman. Zigman can miss out. I'm sure he'll be back later at some point, because I just timed him out. I want to thank everybody so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I know I'm very warm today, but I'm feeling warm, so why not? this case, we have a var-decal, a variable declaration. We already have a child of type node, and type node actually has a value as well. Also, don't we have to free these? No, these are used verbatim in add child. Okay. It might make you feel better, Vimy says. Scratch your eyes out looking at a horrible parser. Landar asks, what did they do? If you're asking about the guy that got timed out, he was just being rude. Kind of insulting other people, and what they do is like, come on, man. We're all friends here. This ain't a place for being rude. If you're asking about the JSON logic parser, I'm also curious. How bad, like, what did they do? Is the parser that bad? Okay, so we have a var-decal. Because this pointer is used verbatim, that means that the child is actually still at this memory address. So we can access the members of the child through the type node. Cool, so now we just have to say, here's the thing, we don't actually, oh man, so there's some type checking stuff, right? Let's think about this. So we are parsing an assignment with an initialization. The assignment contains a type, but the expression needs type check to ensure that it returns the proper type. I see. It's fine to show off good stuff about Zig, but bringing down others based on their language of choice is just rude. You have it exactly right, Vimy. That's exactly what was going on, and I didn't like the vibe he was putting out. It made me feel worse instead of better, so I figured it was time to do something. A little bit of moderation. Landar clarifies and says, I was asking about the person in chat, but it can also apply to the parser, I guess. Lamau. Yeah. Yeah, he was just being a little elitist. Did someone insult Rust? Definitely. He insulted every language that isn't Zig. And he started making fun of, like, specific people. And as soon as that happens, it's like, okay, you can talk shit on Rust. I don't care. You can talk shit on an entire language. People can have their opinion. It doesn't matter. But as soon as you start shitting on, like, people in chat, it's like, that's not acceptable. We're all friends here. We're nice. You're not being nice. But yeah, if you're nice, you just don't have to worry about anything. Just don't make fun of people. You know what I mean? I talk shit about Rust all the time. That's good. Know thine enemy, you know? Yes, Moralilu, you have it right. Rust is the enemy. Because we are iron men. Or women. Iron people. They're gonna have to rename that movie. Okay. The next Marvel movie. Iron Person. Sounds like a interdimensional cable bit. So we have an issue in that we have this expression, but we don't know if it's the proper type. We can just add a to-do, of course, but without that, we can't actually do that. So we now have to do some type checking. Hey, first time chat. We have another first time chat. What's up? I'm so excited today. This gets me excited. Iron it. Ooh. Yeah, push QRDX. I don't know how to say your name. I'm gonna call you Push Q. Is that okay? Or I'll call you Push QRDX until you clarify. So I say your whole name. Iron gender fluids. Gross. On me? Is there some on my face? I always forget to wash it off. Push QRDX has a first time chat, and it says, boring question, but what editor and font are these? That's not a boring question. A lot of people ask it, but I'm assuming it's not boring if a lot of people ask it. This is, just say iron. I like that. Just say iron blank and pause. Hey, look, flying through the sky. It's iron. See him? Or see them? I said see them, not him, I promise. So difficult. The editor, to answer your question, this is Emacs. So EMACS, and it actually stands for editor macros. It's an editor from like the 1970s, and it's still being developed. It's completely open source under the GNU public license version 3, and it's very cool. Some of it is still under like V1 and V2, but don't worry about it. It's completely open source editor. What font is this? This is FiraCode Nerd font. No one actually knows how to use editor macros, Lamau. You haven't used Emacs. Emacs is literally all editor macros. What? You offend me. VMe is like, macros? Everybody has to use macros. They're the best. PushQRDX says, I use Emacs, but I didn't use -no window version and the mode line looked different. I love Emacs, it's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, this is actually my custom theme and my custom mode line. So I wrote this mode line myself. I wrote the code in Lisp to like align a string to the left and align a string to the right. And then I get the window width and I put things in between them, this delimiter. I made it a whole thing. I was like, I want my mode line. But that's awesome that you use Emacs and love Emacs, PushQRDX. We are in the same boat. I love Emacs so much. Moralilu says, I do use Emacs, but it seems like Vim Emacs users just get elitist because clout without actually understanding macros. Yeah, a lot of people don't, they just use Emacs as like, okay, people that use like Doom Emacs or Space Macs, I think they're doing something a little different than using vanilla Emacs. It's like, wait a second. Here's the thing, we have to know the return value type. This is kind of sucky. So we can't do this yet. So to fix me, we're going to put both. Landar is back for the 12th time. Firefox updated. Hey, we're so glad to have you, bud. I really appreciate you being here. Moralilu says, I do, yep, I read that. PushQRDX says, is it available anywhere? I like that mode line. Also about my name, you can just call me Push, but it's from the CPU instruction PushQRDX. Nice. Yeah. That's a gas assembly, right? GNU assembler? You're missing a percentage sign, but I get why. VMe says, I'm not bragging, but Vim Master Race. Hell yeah. Whatever works for you, my guy. Vim is pretty awesome. You can definitely configure it to be like exactly what you need. For me, mode-based editing is just hard to get into because my brain hurts. Your name literally starts with V. Landar, that is a good point. We may have already known or had hints. You asked if the mode line is available. It's not, but I am working on making my Emacs config public. It's kind of a whole thing, but I actually have like this Git repo that I'm working on, and I'm working on a literate Emacs config, so you can see like, here's everything that can get org babel tangled into .emacs. And then I have like a whole installation thing where you can back up your current config, and then you can, there's a lot of things that I'm working on. But yes, this mode line, I think it's in here somewhere. Is it in my init? Let's see. We have a mode line. That's the mode line. Yeah, here it is. So if you want, I can put this in like a git gist or send it to you over Discord if you literally just want this mode line code. It does use keycast and rely on this package, so you will need that. PushQRDX says, all right, following because it's a no-brainer now, Emacs Lover 2 and working on a compiler, pretty much everything I also love. Awesome, so good. Thank you so much, PushQRDX. You said call you Push. I'll call you Push. So, oh, another first time chat. Heyo. Gnarly Quack says, once you get used to mode editing, the amount of times you start accidentally typing I or escape in normal editors. Oh Christ. You're right. It's like when you start hitting Control N from Emacs to go down a line, and you just start opening like 10 new files, and you're like, shit. Gnarly Quack also says, hi everybody. Say hi to Gnarly Quack, everybody. He's awesome. He's here for the first time. I don't know if I said this, but PushQRDX followed. Thank you so much for the follow. That's so awesome. I really appreciate you being here. And this has been such a great stream today. We're having so much fun. Okay, I gotta catch up. Landar says, I love it when streamers actually spend time answering questions from chat in depth. That's the main difference between watching YouTube or something in Twitch. Exactly. And what I found is that people, like on YouTube, by answering the questions from chat, you actually create very educational content just because you're actually helping educate. It's really cool. Very, very cool. First time chat from viewer that I feel like we've seen before. Roger Zanoni. Hi everyone, cool stream. What's up, Roger? I feel like I've talked to you before, but it says first time chat, so you might be new. VMe says, I just like collecting IDE editor configs. I have everything from JetBrains stuff and VS to VS Code, Atom, and all the way to Vim and 4Coder. That's so awesome. You have everything on your machine. You're like, I use it all. You're like that the meme where the brain keeps getting bigger and bigger. You're the enlightened being that is out of his head. No, oh, VMe says hi to Gnarly Quack. Hell yeah, welcome aboard. More Lilu says, I'm glad to know Emacs hotkeys, because most things have support for at least Control A, E, U, D, etc. Absolutely. Control U is a game changer. Universal argument. Push says, I used Vim for 7 years, but then I got rid of modal editing because I found it annoying. When I went back to normal editing, it felt like a relief, less thinking about modes and motions. Exactly. Less about, like, you don't have to keep the state machine in your head. Vim mode for other IDEs and editors, my dude. Vimy, yes. Yeah, you could use like evil mode in Emacs. That'd be horrible. I still love Vim and used it occasionally, but normal Emacs is just fine for me now. That's awesome, Push. Vim for me is, I never started there, but I may end up there eventually. Have a new config. Roger Zanoni says, not my first time here, but first time I said something. That's right, you were the lurking follow the other day, weren't you? I really appreciate you being here. Thank you for chatting finally. I love to hear your amazing words. So currently, that makes sense. Okay, and then, oh boy. This is going great. Vimy says, at Roger Zanoni, hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father, prepare to die. Ahoy, welcome. Yeah, and then the party Pepe. Landar XT says, is this amount of first-time chats fairly normal or above average? Well, considering I started streaming 2 weeks ago, I'd say this is above average, but hopefully it's the new normal. Let's do this, guys. I'm fine with it. So to answer your question, Landar, it's above normal. There's a lot of new people coming in today. It's really fun. I really like talking to everybody. And we're getting followers, and hopefully people are joining the Discord. I know you did, Landar. Thank you so much. The Discord down below where you can get notified every time I go live. Roger Zanoni says, yup. VMe says, you don't need to keep it in your head. It literally tells you the mode in bottom left corner. It does, but you have to keep in your head how to get out of it and what the mode does. Like I have no, the mode I have is I'm in C mode. So all I have to think about is like, oh, how does C work? And there are special key bindings you can make per mode, but generally those are only customized by the user. So when you create them, you tend to remember them. In Vim, it's like, okay, so I have to go to insert mode. Then I have to press escape to get back into normal mode. And then, oh Christ, how do I copy paste? It's like, okay, this is going to take some time. But you are right, Vimy. I'm just lazy, and I probably make things more complicated than I need to. Gnarly Quack says, what language is this compiler for? Great question. This compiler is made for a language we made up on stream. If you check out the VODs, the very first Making a Compiler video, in the first 10 or 15 minutes, we decide on the syntax, we came up with it, and we've been running with this ever since. You don't copy paste, you yank and paste. So in Emacs, you kill and yank. It's a whole other terminology. That's funny. Landar says, I'll be sure to check out any future streams when I can. You're the best. Thank you so much, Landar. I really appreciate that. Thank you for hanging out and just being so positive in today's stream. Everybody. Landar, Moralilu, Vimy, Push, Roger, Gnarly. You're all awesome. Thank you so much. We're having fun. Everybody's friends here, and I feel like we're all having a great time. Thank you so much. You don't copy paste, you yank paste. Push says, getting out in motions. I don't know, after some point it becomes muscle memory, but even after that, the modality still remains something to think about. Vimy says, whatever works for you guys is great, though. Oh, Vimy, you're so sweet. Thank you for not pushing your opinions on everybody. You're so amazing. Push says, by the way, if you want your company box to be positioned correctly while increasing font size, I can give you my code for it. The trade-off is that you zoom in by increasing all font sizes, including mode line and buffer. Thank you, my guy. That would actually... I'm okay on that, because I really prefer... I can't have this stuff be getting larger. It would cover up a large portion of the screen, and then I use egglet, so when anything pops up, it would probably take up way too much space. But I really like your ideas. Unless it doesn't change the echo area. If it doesn't change the echo area, we're golden. Send that shit over. That would be great. Thank you, by the way, Push, for offering. That's so sweet. Vimy says, you know, I'm just so used to it. My Vim config is so huge, though. It just grows over time, you know? So this is when we're going to have to prep an error. And it's going to be a type error, and we're going to say variable assignment has mismatched type. Does that make any sense? Cool. Just for fun, I presume? Do you have aspirations for this language? Gnarly Quack asks. Gnarly Quack, I do have aspirations for this language, but I do not have plans. So if we take a look at to-do, you can see that we're kind of just working on this top level, getting something end-to-end working where we lex, parse, and compile. We're still working on the parsing. But we also have some things here. We want to write end-to-end tests in Algol for the compiler. We want to have like first class types, first class functions, and everything like that. Everything's first class. Why the hell not? And I want there to be an unnamed implicit variable. That's right. So for example, you could do something like this. And this unnamed variable could be used again with like the underscore or something like that. You know, just fun stuff. Or like you can set return values that way. I don't know. But Sandblaster Lang, it removes rust. Kappa. Gnarly Quack, that's really funny. Having Sandblaster, the next language, removes rust. Vimy says, Linux has has really a book about it named Just for Fun. Everything can grow into something serious. Vimy has it. But Gnarly says, oh yeah, definitely not knocking for fun. Great way to learn, if nothing else. Absolutely. It's a great way to have fun, I think. Tests in Algol. It cracks me up, but I know you can do it, and it scares me. Yes. I want my code to invoke fear in programmers. Oh, that's so good. Push says, a compiler that literally deletes rustc before it compiles something. That's right. It uses which, it finds where rustc is installed, and it deletes it. That's so good. VMe says, guys, did you ever create an empty GitHub repo just to save a cool name for your future supposed project? Not on GitHub because it's namespaced under your username, so you can take any name that you haven't used before. Gnarly says, tests in algol. Just for fun? Maybe stretching it there. Maybe. I think we can do it, though. It's not the end of the world. It's just algol. People wrote programs in it for a long time. I mean, I wrote end-to-end tests in Pascal for my text editor. You can go look at those in Light on my GitHub. So, you know, I'm kind of experienced. Pascal is very nice to use though. It's like Python. Moralilu says, no, all my projects are named like CFG, JL, ED, or something simple. There's nothing wrong with that, my guy. Names are hard. Like this language does not have a name, in case you didn't notice. So now that we have a type, we can just do a stupid, dumb, very dumb thing. And this is going to be so we're just setting this pointer. Is this a pointer? No, it's a union. So this is a union within a node. Let's look at node. Excuse me, parser? Okay. Node. So we have a node type. And then we have a node value. Okay, and it's a union. So when we create a symbol, how do we set the type? Okay, so we don't do any copying. We do a literal type copy from result. So that's good. I literally have an empty repo called Cluster Blaster just because it's an awesome name for a project IMO. Actually, okay, I see. So you're not saying to reserve them. It's almost like to give you inspiration in the future. I thought you meant like come up with ideas and name them and have them in your GitHub. Like, ooh, I want to make this language called Bool. You know what I mean? Boolean. But you're saying you can have an empty repo with a cool name you thought of that will inspire you to make something in the future. That's a great idea. That's like creativity efficiency right there. That's knowledge. Gnarly Quack says, all my repositories contain only finished projects with only the finest quality code. /s. I was going to say, are you serious? What? Absolutely. Everything is top notch. There's not a single to-do statement in my published code, except for all those to-do statements. Hey, look, it works. Hi, Mom. Why do we have a hi, Mom? I don't... Oh, it's here. Okay, do we have an error here? We don't. Okay, that's better. I got rid of the one above it. Okay. Yes, but I wouldn't say that I do it because the name is cool. They are basically misspelled names in Portuguese. Oh, you're so good. Thanks for that positivity, Roger Zanoni. I want to say thank you everybody for watching. We've been streaming just over 2 hours working on this compiler. Be sure to check out the Discord down below. You can actually get notifications every time I go live and talk to each other, talk to me. We have a ton of fun in here, and I really recommend it. There's a lot of people. It's amazing. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. But yeah, I just did my little spiel there. The Discord is fun. We have fun together. Other than that, there's also the donate button down below. And the donate button is, I think you know what that does. You've been on Twitch long enough, I'm sure. And if you have enough money, I would greatly appreciate it. I don't have any other source of income, so it helps a lot. It helps a lot. It helps the roof stay over my head. And yeah, just thank you everybody so much for watching. Don't feel like you have to donate. I just appreciate you being here, though. That's all that matters. If you show up, man, I give you a hug, and I thank you so much. First time chat. Heyo. Vimy says, Shamu. What's up, Derpy Sloth 123? How's it going? How are you doing today? Gnarly says, well, it's past noon for me, which probably means I should get some breakfast in me. I may lurk for a bit, but have fun and enjoy your Saturday. Thank you so much, Gnarly Quack. I really appreciate you coming, and it's so cool. Thank you so much for hanging out. You were positive in today's stream, and you made today brighter. Thank you, Gnarly Quack, and lurk away. We love lurkers around here. Lurk! Moralilu asks, are you trying to do Twitch as a job? Great question. No. I just started streaming on Twitch because I'm really passionate about programming, first of all, and I do it multiple hours a day, and I talk to myself. Ooh, Vimy says to Gnarly Quack, enjoy your breakfast. Great idea, Vimy. You're so polite. Definitely. Derpy Sloth. Ooh, Gnarly Quack with the follow. Thank you so much for following. I really appreciate it, Gnarly. Hopefully you can make it another time to another stream. I really appreciate you coming to this one, though. That's all that matters right now. Derpy says, today's been good. A lot of debugging. That's cool, Derpy Sloth. So you've been debugging. What program are you working on? Anything worth it that you'd like to share? I mean, it's worth it, no matter what. I don't want to imply that if you don't want to share it, it's not, like, worth sharing. Yeah, this is so good. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay, so we have done compilation of something. What's going on? Unrecognized token 69. So we're not hitting this equals, it seems like. Oh, we didn't actually lex. So, yeah, I think I need to do something like this. Oh, but here's the thing. Okay, Christ. So we check for the initialization operator after a variable declaration to check if it's a variable declaration with initialization or whatever. Moralilu. I feel like I'm committing a sin since my parser has no lex step. Ooh. It's fine, my guy. That's not a sin. It's just, I think you may actually be able to write a parser that never lexes, because the lexer is really just a tool for the parser. Vimy says, one day, lens_r will write an interpreter in this compiled language. He will become new Guido van Rossum. I don't know who that is. I wish I knew who it was. I feel like I'm out of the circle. Split on space. Tokenized. Let's go. Mr. Mugume, you got it. JSON is simple enough to not have to lex. That's true. Guido van Rossum is a Dutch programmer born in 1956, known as the creator of Python. Awesome. For which he was the benevolent dictator for life. Christ. Until he stepped down from the position in 2018. Well, I would like to be a benevolent dictator for life. That sounds pretty baller. Thank you, Vimy. I really appreciate that. And you're saying in this compiled language, we write we can write a Lisp in our own compiled language. That's such a good idea. Okay, that's going in the to-do. It's going in the to-do. That's a kind of urgent, too. That's not a miscellaneous. Write Lisp runtime, we'll call it. Write a Lisp runtime in the compiled language. Paug. Call that a paug. Okay, I gotta catch up on some chats. Vimy says, naughty compiler. Talking to Moralilu because he is no lexing. Moralilu says, JSON is simple enough to not have to lex. That's right. Derpy says, just doing my uni project. Basic Java GUI for like a store. Lamau, that's awesome. Java is not something I've ever actually, I don't think, programmed in. I've programmed a few things in Java. But you're definitely more experienced in Java than me if you're doing GUI programming. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing, Derpy. I really like hearing about that. And GUI definitely has a lot of debugging going on. Gnarly Quack says, nah, regex for the win. Instead of splitting on white space, just regex. Oh god. If you have a regular expression lexer, I don't think that can count as a lexer. Moralilu asks, are you going to use LLVM? No! We are using no backend, no dependencies, no libraries, nada. Except for the C library and just like what's required to make processes run. Of course. Just gonna get that basic stuff out there. But we're not using any external libraries, just what's supplied by the OS. We're doing this all ourselves, baby, from scratch. So what is your backend, assembly or C? I assume that's like what we're gonna compile into. We actually have a few plans for what we're gonna compile into. We're gonna start with x86-64 assembly, because I've done that before, so I just have experience with it. But we're gonna make it so that it can output different file formats. So we may very well create a C backend that generates some simple C code that does what the language does. And then we could also write, I think we have an idea for like a chip 8 backend with this other project that's going on by Eternal Wild Fox. He's working on a PHP chip 8 compiler and stuff, assembler. So that would be very cool to turn into chip 8 assembly or some language that he compiles. That's Push's question. Vimi says, keep that programming going, dude. We will wait for some glorious open source project of yours in future. Hell yeah. Thank you, Vimi. You're being so supportive. I really appreciate you being so positive in chat. Landar says, my internet cut out the literal second you began reading my message about coming back in future, and it's only now back. Lamau. Well, I'm happy you're back. I'm happy you're back, Landar. To be honest, it should be RISC-V or ARM because x86 is not cool and Intel can eat my pants. Moralilu, you are funny. Moralilu, Intel can eat your pants. I'll tell them. Vimi says sending you 100 megabytes of internet. He has to download it. It's going to take so long. Vimi, what are you doing? Push says, also regarding Vim and Emacs, Evil Mode was actually good. I used it for 2 years during my transition to Emacs. Nice. Honestly, it's probably, Evil Mode is probably the best for people transitioning who have used modal editors before. Because I think learning modal editing from Evil Mode would be a little overkill. Or overwhelming, I mean, not overkill. Derpy says thanks. Vimi gives him a rock symbol. Probably no problem. Landar says, anyone downloaded RAM recently? Every day, bro. How do you think my computer's still running? Invalid type equals. Well, that's interesting. Did I copy some wrong code? What happened? How did we get invalid type equals? That means we're up here? What's going on? And that's the first thing we run into. Invalid type equals. So we get... Okay, I get what this is. Push says, it's the same. Evil Mode makes Emacs 99% behave just like Vim. This is why it made my transition easier. That's awesome. In that case, I definitely am glad I didn't download Vim back when I was learning Emacs, because I was like, I tried out Evil Mode and I was like, this is too confusing. It's probably just Emacs. Don't forget to also download some CPU cycles. That's right. You gotta make sure your CPU, the clock, you gotta reset the clock every once in a while, you know, update the cycles, download them. LandRXT says, I got told by some totally legit guy on the phone that you need to download RAM once a week to keep your PC going. He's telling the truth, man. I promise. He's telling the truth. Mr. Mugame says, C has no hash tables? What am I even thinking? It doesn't even have bools. Mugame, you're right. C doesn't have anything. It's hardware interaction. But yeah, we wrote our own hash table on stream for our suicidal AI text generating bot the other day. If you want to go check that VOD out, it's on the YouTube link down below, or on, I think it's recent enough, it's still on Twitch. Vimi says, don't forget to also download CPU cycles. Vimi says to Mr. Mugame, you can write them yourself, the hash tables. That's right. Mr. Mugame to Vimi says, eat my, yeah, I probably have to. Derpy says, the guy on the phone, the guy on the phone is speaking facts. I have 128 RAM. Downloaded it from Facebook Marketplace. Fire. Yeah, my guy. Derpy, your computer is going to run so fast, I promise. Okay. For really cheap, too, Push says. The guy on the phone, he downloaded it from the Facebook Marketplace. So cheap. That RAM, whew, downloaded it so fast. I'd say every time you make a Hello World program, you should code everything yourself, from the assembler to the program language to the OS. Not a bad idea, I've done it. I've written a Hello World program, user space program, that links with the LensOS libc and is able to print to the screen. Or print to, I think it uses the debug out, which is UART. But it's doable, Lander. These are the type of people you're surrounded by right now. Be scared. Vimis Lander says I was joking. Yeah, I know. I wasn't. That's the scary part. I've actually programmed many of those things. I don't think I've programmed an assembler yet, but I'm getting there. Vimi, you should also wire your own logic gates and make your own processor. Yes. If you don't have a 555 and you haven't made like little blinking lights, what are you doing with your life? Are you a real programmer? Yes, you are. You don't need to do crazy stuff to be a programmer. But it is funny to think about. Wire your own logic gates. Like, I'm not even using XOR chips. I'm just gonna wire my own. Not even that. I'm not gonna wire them up. I'm gonna create my own silicon. I am in it. Do you even wire, bro? Do you even silicon, bro? Like, we are etching conductive pathways into this metal. Do you even etch conductive pathways into metal, bro? I'm such a nerd. Oh, Christ. You can store so many pandas data frames in those 128 RAMs of yours. Yes, so many pandas data frames. That's such a Python joke, I love it. Do we even wire, bro? Oh yeah, like real programmers. Push, you know what's up. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I really appreciate it. We've been streaming almost 2.5 hours. We probably got half an hour to go. I really appreciate everybody. You know that guy on YouTube who bought an electron microscope and made his own silicon? Yeah, it's actually doable. It's really cool. What was that guy's name? Was it Alpha Phoenix? Who was that? Derpy Sloth says, wait, you guys don't program in binary? Wait, y'all are programming? So good. VMe, make your own semiconductors. Yes. Oh, yes. So by the time we get here, we can tell that they are trying to declare a variable because we have a symbol and then the type, or reassign a variable. So if it's not a reassignment, then it could be a redefinition if there's a type name. So this actually has to go in here once there's a valid type found. Alrighty, that makes sense. Programming in non-binary. VMe. That's such a good stream title. We might have to take that one day. Programming in non-binary. With a sleepy Papago. Who is that? Awoke. A trashed. Okay, so a trash designer Pepe. Woke Pepe. Do you even God, bro? Lander says, I'm going to create my own architecture, semiconductor, screen type, planet, ecosystem, species, universe, reality, and matter just to make a Hello World program. You're getting it now, Lander. You're getting it. Oh, so pug. So pug. Thank you so much. Be sure to follow if you want to catch any further streams I make. And if you want to get notified every time I go live, be sure to join that Discord down below. It's we all talk to each other, we have fun, we make friends. It's a lot of fun. I really recommend it. Hey, look, Derpy Sloth joined and Vimy waved. Thank you, Derpy Sloth. I really appreciate you joining. Vimy, thank you so much for just being an awesome viewer all around. I really appreciate you. Just you being here. Everybody being here. I appreciate all of you. This is so cool. I just get to program and talk to people. It's amazing. And we all get to be friends. Push says, I guarantee you that this world became a reality once humans discover a way to extend the human lifetime. Hey, we got a lurk follow. We got a lurk in the chat. All right. We have a lurker, Phi-Hen. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate you. And hopefully you're enjoying everything that's happening right now. Derpy Sloth that laughs and then says, Landar has a giga brain. Yes, Landar is giga brain. He is Chad. Oh, so funny. I can't come up with any actual program ideas, but I've mapped out a completely and utterly stupid idea to make a programming language entirely in a Windows form. Oh no, like within PowerShell? That's terrible. Oh Christ, you scare me. You scare me, Landar. Vimy says Memento Mori. You can do a code challenge with me. I'm planning to write a simple password manager in C. That's right, in 30 minutes. That'd be sweet, having you do some code challenges. I wonder if we should have a code challenges section in our Discord. That would be fun to have people participate and have little events. Okay, so check for variable reassignment. So we're going to check for this equal sign effectively. Is there a possibility this code here, yeah, this code. So truthfully, this code here checks for the equal operator. And we'd like to do that even if we don't have a type, right? For now, we're just going to copy, but I feel like this could definitely be a lot better. Moralilu says, I'd participate. Hell yeah. Derpy says, takes me 30 minutes to print hello world. And then the lol. You will get there, my dude. Just keep the ball rolling. Oh, Vimy, you're so nice. And he's absolutely right. The more you do it, the easier it gets. So how do we set the value on an existing one? So this will parse the expression, yes. And then how do we know the type? So we're going to have to first check for variable reassignment. That's right. And that will get us the variable in the environment if we have it. Right? Let's see. So if we check for equals, so if there's no equals here, we will fall through to checking for a declaration. So I just need to look at the example code. So we say this is a declaration. So when we parse up to the colon here, Parse up to the colon. That sounds much darker than it actually is. Vme says, you'll get there, my dude. Just keep the ball rolling. That's right. Positivity. Lendar says, you know what? I'm actually going to try to make that stupid idea work tomorrow. I doubt it could in any way, but maybe? Vme says, just share it on GitHub afterwards. Cool. Embrace the meme, so to speak. Absolutely. Vme, you are right. Make everything open source. Let people look. There's nothing wrong with it. Oh, thank you so much, everybody. And Landar, I don't think your idea is stupid. I think it's really cool. Like, I think that's actually a interesting thought experiment. Like, you're limiting yourself in the tools that you have and creating something that is hard to create even with your normal tools. So it's like, it's a really cool challenge, and it's brave to even try it. So I think it's really cool you're going to try. And I'd love to see how it turns out. More cocaine. All right, we are excited. Everybody, I'm excited. This is going really well. So effectively, we parse the colon. So we'll have some symbol followed by some colon, followed by what? And that's what this is here, after lexing. Vme, I mean, Scratch exists, so why not try to do something in Windows forms? Scratch is like the worst programming language, if you could even call it that. Like, let's teach kids how to put together blocks. That way, when they go to actually code and there's no blocks to put together, they are super confused and have no idea what to do. It'll be good. Scratch is amazing because it's small talk. Sort of. Small talk was a little more flexible in the code you write. Like, you would actually have source code that you write. It wasn't really like predefined blocks. I think all kids should start in C++. It depends on what you mean. Like, generic programming, I think you can learn on almost anything. But actual computer science, where you're like programming and understand what the program, like what you're writing actually does, if that makes sense, underneath the hood, I think that's a different thing to teach. Vme says Scratch teaches control flow and general program logic. That could be true. It definitely teaches some basics of programming, but I think it should be used more as like a supplemental tool rather than as the learning. Like, I think you should have some program where you actually just have a text editor, you open a new like source file, and then you have to write something here that's code. Because that's how it is in the real world. It doesn't end up with like, oh, I need an if block, and you know what I mean? You just have to learn how to kind of compose things yourself, I think. But I think if somebody is having trouble understanding control flow, that definitely Scratch is a good teaching source for that. Children need not worry about the real world. Right, they only exist within it. Why would they need to know about what's around them, dummies? /s. Mr. Mugume says, nah, start with assembly from the bottom up. Honestly, that's not a bad idea. If they started teaching like von Neumann architecture, like stack-based Turing machine, and how it works, understanding assembly is not that complicated. Derpy says, I think they should start in C#, to be honest. That's a good one. It's kind of a mix between scripting and programming, and it's C# has a lot of libraries and stuff. The public-private interface of C# is, what do they have? They have interfaces, then they also have something else. What are they called? They have classes, interfaces, and what was the other type of file you make? I don't even remember. It was so long ago. C# is a good one, though. It's hard to teach a small kiddo to code. It's all text at the beginning, and with Scratch you can do easy games with animations and stuff really easily. That's also, I think, the problem is that's not what programming is. It's not going in and making animations very easily and having cool stuff show up on the screen. Like, that's not actual programming. That's not day-to-day. Actual day-to-day is looking at text. Landar says, like a super, super basic language that can't do everything. A full language can do, but has simple syntax, maybe. See, I don't think you should limit the kids. C# is a shit first language. It has so much going on. I don't think that it has to be simple to learn it first, guys. I think that's a misconception. Children are smart. They can learn anything you teach them. It was super easy, Landar says, to pick up as the first language I was properly confident in. I think Landar is on the right track because C# is actually used in game engines and game development, where people who are more artistic, just trying to create games, have to learn how to code, and they use a scripting language like C#. And it actually goes really well. People understand it well and make cool games. Vimy, C# enforces OOP, and let's be honest, OOP is not the only paradigm. You're right, but it's not a bad one to learn first, Vimy, in my opinion. Because I think object-oriented is like, you can write giant code bases object-oriented style, and it's fine. Mr. Mugume says, I'd always recommend JavaScript because it's insanely powerful and you can directly see what you are doing. Mr. Mugume, that's a very valid point. JavaScript also lets you see it in a browser and run it like wherever. You don't have to worry about compilation or any complicated stuff. You can just run the code you write, and it also helps you start to understand functional programming and lambdas and how to pass a function as an argument and then have that be called in the function you passed it to and stuff like that, which is all very important functional programming paradigms. But JavaScript has like no object-oriented programming, so I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. I know there's TypeScript. Don't at me with TypeScript. That's not JavaScript because it compiles into JavaScript. It's a different language. Derpy says, all my homies love OOP. Moralilu says, OOP weakens the mind. Vimy says, children are smart, but you have to get them interested fast or they will treat it as a chore. Possibly. It depends on the child. And I guess a lot of things. Landar says, that's the thing. JS can be used in literally anything now. 100% a language I think everyone should know. Yeah, that's a JavaScript is honestly a good first one because creating websites really lets you see like, okay, I'm programming, but I'm also being helped a lot with graphics and layout and stuff. But absolutely, websites are a good way to start. I think Lisp would be a good first language to learn because Common Lisp has GUI bindings and animation stuff, so you could do that. You could teach OOP in Common Lisp, or you could teach functional programming. You could do all sorts of things. Landar, Vimy says to Landar, everything has a place and time to be used. Exactly. Vimy is correct. So should this be some sort of function where we take in nodes to create something? That may be a good idea. But what are we doing here? So we're trying to check if we have a colon followed by an equals directly. And what that would mean is that we have a variable reassignment, right? So what we should do is get from the variable environment, get the variable's value. Is that right? Sure. Is this okay? Vimy says, I learned Lua and C first, and I don't think those are bad to be first languages, although I only used them for WoW back when it was cool. Lamal, WoW was always cool. I think it still is. RIP Reckful. Just gonna get that out there. But yeah, Lua and C are good first languages, Vimy. I think Lua is really cool because it shows you, if you also learn C at the same time, how to embed other languages as runtimes into compiled languages, and it's really cool, the interoperability. Landar says, I mean, 15 years ago, you wouldn't think about using web pages for desktop apps, but now Electron is used as one of the big frameworks for desktop frontend. I know, right? It's crazy. Like HTML, CSS has actually become a standard, not just a web thing. Moralilu says, I went from C to Go. And Vimy says, my man. Hell yeah.
I think from C, the cool part about learning that first is you can go anywhere because you now understand some very basic fundamentals about computers, like memory addressing and variables and how those play together. So what's our ID node? Does anybody know? It's called symbol. People say if you learn C, you can learn anything. They're right. Because understanding C is probably, you have to understand everything about computers to understand it properly. And even if you only learn the basics and don't understand everything, you still get to learn for loops, if conditional branching. You get to learn conditional compilation if you get that deep, stuff like that. Vimi says, I know people who think they can do enterprise robotics in JavaScript and call it cost efficient. That's where I draw the line. Okay, Vimi, you just inspired me to. I'm angry. I'm ranting now. This is an official Lens rant. I hate all these YouTubers who write programs and say like, "Oh my god, it took a month to run," and then they reveal like, "Oh yeah, I wrote it in Python." And it's not structured good at all. And it's like your program can be run in 10 minutes using a hash table in C. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? They just make these things take a long time and then pretend it's impressive. Like, I ran a program for a whole month. It's like, that's because you wrote it wrong, dude. Okay, I'm done ranting. Sorry about that. Back to reading chat. Moralilu, those people never tried learning Haskell as their second language. Ooh, Haskell is rough, man. Chaining all those monads together is like, okay, what? Landar says the bigger factor, I'd say, is where you learn the language and how much you are taught about how to use the language, specifically, or how to use fundamentals. Maybe, I see what you're saying. You're saying it doesn't matter what language, just how much you learn of it, right? Do you have for loops? Do you have if conditional branching? Do you have strings and string manipulation and APIs? Man, we're having so much fun. Thank you everybody for coming out. We've been streaming 2 hours, 45 minutes now. We're probably gonna stop streaming around the 3 hour mark, maybe a little after, so just letting everybody know we're nearing the end of the stream, but we are gonna go until the very end. That was worded so badly, lol. It wasn't bad, my guy. I understood what you meant. Sometimes words are just meant to be as like temporary placeholders for people to understand you. They're not necessarily always have the same meaning, right? So now I need a result. Let's not write to null. How about that? What's the problem? Oh, this returns an int. Vimi says Python can be fast with code optimizations and correct use of specific things, but that's the problem with Python. Easy to learn, hard to master. Exactly, Vimi. People write in Python like they're writing in Bash, and it's horrible. 90% of people who are working as Python devs don't even know that memory CPU optimization can be done in Python. No one actually teaches that. Rant over. You're correct, Vimi. I get you. Like, everybody codes in Python, but they don't actually use Python how it's meant to be used. They just use it as like a scripting language, like Bash, and it's so scary. And then they have the nerve to call themselves Python developers, professional Python developers. So what is status if we look at environment get? 1 for success, 0 for failure. So if status, I guess we can just do this. I don't really need to save this. Right? So this would be either reassignment of existing variable, look for equals, or redefinition error, look for valid type. Otherwise, if it's not an equals, and it's not a valid type, nothing else comes after the colon, so we have no clue what that is. So we just go invalid syntax error. Also, I put that in the very wrong spot. What am I doing? Oh my god. Landar says, Python is thrown around as read a book on Python and you can learn programming. Then these people make functional programs only using what they learned from a beginner level book or tutorial. Well, they're not, I wouldn't call a program that takes a month to run functional. I would say that it works, but functional is a hard one. I guess you could argue that it is functional. It does produce the proper result. Landar says exactly, and I read that wrong, I'm so sorry. VMe, talking to Landar, says exactly, and personally it really saddens me because I really like Python for how fast you can prototype actual working things. Exactly. I wish in Python refactoring was easier. But, you know, you can only ask for so much of a dynamic interpreted programming language. Why? Why problem? Okay, fair problem. So we don't have to look for the equals unless we know that we have seen this variable before, because we'll never have or equals like this. This is not allowed unless the variable has been declared. Landar says, plus, because it's easy to learn, people tend to learn it quickly by copying from example and then get stuck because they don't know what it is the code they're typing is doing. You can do that in any language, but you're absolutely right, Landar. That's popular in Python. I don't get copy and pasting code at all. Like, why would you ever copy and paste code? Plus, what do people understand the legality of that? Like, what license is that code under? You just stole it. That's somebody's hard work. I'm just a nerd. I'm a nerd. If you're proficient in C or C++, you can combine it with Python because interfacing is great and be super powerful dev. VMe, you are absolutely correct. That's actually one of my stream ideas in the future, is implementing a Python REPL in C, in a C program, like embedding it. Because it's honestly really easy to do, just by linking with libpython. And VMe, you're correct. You could like create your own Python runner. It's like you could do so much with Python that people don't realize. They get stuck on the high level bits of it and don't understand like this is actually a really cool language at the low level. It's almost like Lisp, the way it's so dynamic and with the environment and redefinitions and everything like that. It's cool. It just is misused because all those redefinitions and stuff being allowed means that you don't have to worry about anything. Landar says, the only time I can see it being a good idea to copy code is when you specifically have checked the copyright and license and when it is specific to the code you need it to solve. Absolutely. And even then you should, I mean, it depends on the license. You may not have to, but even then you should reference in a comment or something around the code like, I didn't write this. This is taken from here and this person did this work. Because attribution is so important. Oh, excuse me. VMe. I can write a C program, writes main, and does a Python syscall with Python coded in string. Oh god. Yes. That's like the cursed way they implement shaders in basic C programs with OpenGL. They always like implement them as a constant string at the global level. Like, what is wrong with these people? This is not how you write C. So when we get a variable reassignment, I mean, not a redefinition. So a variable reassignment would get us here. I guess I could say if it's an existing variable and we don't have the next token as equals. So if we encounter this, So we have a declared variable, then we would say b anything here should mean that, hey, you can't redefine something. You have to just reassign. That's the only thing allowed after declaring a variable. Okay. I think that makes sense. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. We've got such an active stream today. It's so much fun. I really appreciate everybody for coming out, being so positive. We're all friends here, and it's so much fun to talk to all of you. Thank you for spending time in this little corner of the internet. Okay. We are approaching the 3-hour mark, about 5 to 10 minutes away. This recursive call is definitely kind of the worst. We need to do stack-based continuations, but we're not there yet. I find it quite sad that a streamer I used to watch regularly has gone extremely downhill since they got affiliate. Now they just want subscribers and nothing else. Oh, that's really sad. I'm excited to reach affiliate. People can use bits and subscribe if they want on Twitch. I'm not trying to do this as like a job though. I just want to... I've seen C interpreter, cursed thingy somewhere on the internet. That's a great idea. A C interpreter. Vme, you are awesome. That's a great idea. Landar is saying that a streamer he was watching has gone downhill once he got affiliate. Well, all I can say is that I'm sorry, and that won't happen here. This stream, I don't think, will change, no matter what happens. We have the donate button down below. I mention that every once in a while, but once I become affiliate, I'll mention subscriptions about equally as often, right? However often somebody wants to subscribe, I'll mention it and then say, hey, anybody else, if you want to subscribe, it'd be great. But that's not my goal around here. My goal around here is to have fun, honestly, make friends, because you guys are so awesome and I love talking to you. Root project cling. A C++ interpreter. Oh, Christ. Okay, we're going to have to check that out. That's amazing. But yeah, we have donations already, so I don't think much will change, to answer your question, Landar, around here. We'll keep it steady. So I have to check my phone, so the screen will be static for a few moments. But I'm still here reading chat and talking. Okay. Yes, I'm late, I know. Okay. That's where I was going. Okay. So I have to check here. Yes, I know. Got to go. Awesome. Okay. Sorry about that. A little pause. Had some phone logistics to take care of. Real life logistics, I should say. So if we have an equals, get the assigned expression, and we are going to reassign the value of our variable binding. So our variable binding, what do I think this is how that should work. Okay, dumb question. What's the advantage of becoming an affiliate? You can start making money off your stream? Gnarly? Great question. Is it okay if I answer and take that one off of Landar? Assuming you know, of course. Hey. So, Twitch affiliate unlocks some new features within Twitch, if that makes sense. So Twitch they don't want to just allow anybody to get paid on their platform, because there's some legal problems with that, where their advertisers don't want somebody who comes on and says terrible things right away and just keeps making new accounts even though they get banned. They don't want that to be Twitch. So what they do to fix their brand, they say once you get 50 followers, which we're on our way to, thank you so much, everybody. Hit that follow button if you can. Once you get 50 followers and an average of 3 viewers per stream, then that means that you unlock ways to get paid through Twitch, basically through Amazon. And that allows people to subscribe to your channel. And that means that they can pay like a monthly fee and you get a little bit of that money through Twitch. The creator gets the money through Twitch from the viewer who wants to subscribe. But Twitch also takes their cut. So the advantage of becoming an affiliate is also that they boost you in their algorithm more. So if you're an affiliate, Twitch kind of trusts you and trusts that your stream wants to be watched by people. So they say, okay, this is a stream that we should promote when it's streaming. And then you get more and more effectively, it just makes it easier to snowball. But with Twitch affiliate, you also get bits, which people can cheer in chat, and each bit that you get is 1 cent. Each bit that's cheered during your stream is 1 cent to the streamer. Landar says cheer bits, subscribers, ads. I don't know if non-affiliates get ads, but they definitely don't get money from it. Some other stuff I'm not sure. I haven't got there myself. Yeah, Landar has it exactly right. People can cheer bits, you can subscribe, and then you can also show ads. Just listen to Lens, lol. It unlocks subscriptions. Do I have it right that they take half? They definitely... I'm not sure. I haven't read the contract thoroughly enough, so I'm not sure if I can disclose my rates with Twitch. So I am not going to disclose any of that information. However, I will tell you, Twitch takes more than many, many services. I don't think that goes against any contract I've signed. So Twitch does take a larger fee than any other service through which I can get paid. So Twitch is kind of the last place I prefer to get paid, if that makes sense. But yeah, I unlock affiliates and subscriptions when I get 50 followers or whatever. What I prefer mostly is the donation button. Recful, RIP Recful, he's a streamer who actually pioneered putting the PayPal donate button down below. And he was able to actually get donations, and he made a lot of money just because he was the first one to ever do it, and he had a big following when he introduced it, and people just donated. They loved talking to him and putting up messages. So I went in that style. I have a PayPal donate button. Yeah, if you're not allowed to say that, don't get yourself in trouble. Okay, I try not to. I'm a little law-abiding citizen. Please no sue. No, but I've put the PayPal donate down below so that if people want to give money, they can, and the fees are very minimal. There's like a flat rate of 60 cents or something, and then it's a few, like 1 or 2% is taken out. In PayPal, I can definitely tell you those rates. Landar says, please don't leave us like that. I'm definitely not going to end the stream. I got to do some coding. I got to compile something. Oh, he's responding to VMe. One day Google will offer Lenzer a job too good to refuse and he will never be online again. Sad troll face. No, hype cry. Oh. It's funny, that looks like a mad, like a crying troll face when it's small, but when you hover over it, it's hype cry. I'll definitely not leave you guys, okay? This isn't just a source of income for me. You're a community. You're my friends. I couldn't just leave you out in the cold. I've been paid money for this. Do you understand how guilty I feel about that? Like, I've done nothing. I feel like I have done nothing for anybody, and I'm like, I've gotten money for it. I'm like, I'm cheating you guys. I owe you. I feel like I just continually owe you. So I would definitely not leave you like that. Unless I, like, kill myself. Then, of course, I would never be online again. But, and you could attribute it to me getting a job at Google, if that helps you think. Sleep at night, I guess. So, reassignment, redefinition error. See, it's a redefinition error no matter what, right? If it's not an equal. We're just going to say else prep, error prep. Also, should this just fall through? Should this return okay? Maybe we can just do this. Redefinition. We might have to create a new error type. Mr. Mugume says, yo, don't do that. We need you. Thank you so much, Mr. Mugume. That helps a lot. It's very cool to have your positivity around, and I definitely want to stay when I am around you. I'm terrible at saying words that mean anything, but I hope that meant something. I'll try not to do that, my guy. Of course, I struggle with it a lot. I'm sure you can tell by the Twitch bio, but you know, we're living, we're coding. I'm excited to get to tomorrow, so we're doing good. VMe says, we need our benevolent dictator for life of the fun compiler. Yes. Yes. Lendar says, you pay money for Netflix or whatever, right? That provides entertainment just as you do, so you deserve money. Aww. Lendar, you're making me blush. Come on. Oh. I just got excited. I saw something. Brainsman followed. I missed it. We got a lurker in the chat with a follow. Can we get a lurk? Heyo. What's up, Brainsman? How are you doing? Feel free to chat or keep lurking. We like those too. As far as Lander, thank you for saying I deserve money. I don't feel like it. But I really appreciate that you do, because lurk. Heyo. Yeah, Brainsman. You see them lurks? They're for you. And any other lurkers here, we really appreciate you all. That's a really good analogy, Landar. I do pay money. Not for Netflix, but I do for something like it, so that does help it put it in perspective for me. Thank you so much. Landar says, coding streaming service? I would pay for that. Codeflix? Oh shit. Okay, guys, we're taking this note. I think it's a to-do entry under programming is what it would be. Okay, this is going to be Codeflix. And this is going to be at vme, at, oh god, LandarXT. Anybody else? I don't think so. I think vme and Landar came up with the coding streaming services. I'll put that there. This would be monumental. But create a streaming service exclusively for coding. Pepega. Perfect. We can't use that name. Ah, shit. Okay. New to do. Programming. Rename Codeflix. Rename Codeflix. Maybe we could have Zulu. No. That's probably a Spock thing already, Zulu.com. Spock thing. Am I an idiot? Star Trek thing. What could we call it? Codeflix? Maybe, semicolon? What about that? Semicolon. No, I don't know. Australia? They don't count, because codeflix.com.au. It's an Australian website. We can just make a US one. It's true. Rename Codeflix. Maybe, I'm bad at naming things. Let's do, oh, brogramming. Maybe brogram. Yeah, we'll call it maybe brogramming. That's better. Boobgramming included. Yes. ID of redefined variable. What is this going to be? What is this going to be? Also, I think I don't need that. I don't know. So I was about to say, what's on there if it's 18 plus? If you aren't programming your own sexual desires, what are you even doing? Mr. Mugame. Yo, who said boob? I like boob. We all like boob, yo. That's why we're here. Gnarly Quack has a name idea. Tube coding. Codes that come to you through the tubes. That's not a bad idea. Ooh, netcode. Like video games have netcode for the networking, but we could call it netcode. That's not bad. Okay, there's going to be a million to-dos I got to clean up. So we're going to have at gnarly quack. And we have codeflix rename tube coding. Okay, and then we also have, what else do we have? Codeflix rename netcode. And then hashtag include boobies.h. Be me, you are hilarious. That's amazing. And all it does is like include SDL and pop up a window of boobs. Landar says netcode also means something, so that could be a cool reference. Netcode is a blanket term most commonly used by gamers relating to networking in online games, often referring to synchronization issues between clients and servers. That's right, like desync, that bad netcode. That's right, CSGO. It's all coming back. It's all coming back. Players often infer bad netcodes when they encounter connection problems in a game. They're probably right. Gnarly Vimy says, reminded me of George Carlin's thing about country is going down the tubes. Oh, that's a good one with tube coding. Tube coding, we're diving into them tubes. But netcode is also like a cool reference. We'll have to see. What do we have? Where do we get? We still have invalid type equals. Because, okay. I know why. This never happens because we never actually set this. I was thinking of that senator that described the internet as a series of tubes that can get clogged. That would be hilarious. I wonder if that's how some people really conceptualize the internet. They think it's like tubes. Who clogged my WLAN? That's so funny, Vimy. Who clogged my WLAN? Tube code has pretty much no hits on Google, so that's a pretty decent blank slate. Hell yeah, the internet isn't tubes. Moralilu figuring it out for the first time. Wait, what? It's not tubes? Somebody was having clogging issues in chat earlier, right? Well, now, you're right. Little bandwidth issue. Getting clogged up. I like that idea. Instead of calling it like lag, it's like, no, it's not lag, it's clogged. I'm all clogged. I've got I'm clogged. My tubes are clogged. I can't see. That's so funny. So we need to set when we define a new variable, we need to set something. Yes. Here. And then we would like this node to be returned. Should we copy the variable declaration into the environment? Or should the variable declaration that's returned be the same one? So let's do a possible fix me. Should environment get its own copy of node? Perfect. Wikipedia to the rescue. Series of tubes. Nice. United States Senator Ted Stevens of Alaska described the internet in the context of opposing network neutrality. Christ. So he called it a series of tubes. those tubes can be filled, and if they are filled, when you put your message in, it gets in line, and it's going to be delayed by anyone that puts it into the tube. Enormous amounts of material. Enormous amounts of material. What a quote. That's hilarious. Thank you for that link. That's awesome. Landar is actually tempted to buy the domain tubecode.com. I mean, hey, I'm not going to promise that I can make any progress, but if we can actually get that up and running, that would be sweet. I like to think of the internet as if it is a really efficient postal service, maybe because I was doing course on advanced networking, and part of it was done in Packet Tracer. Lamau. That's awesome. You're right, though. It is just sending messages from one to another. That's Tubecode is a premium domain, so it costs around 2K extra on most services. Fuck. Yo, don't do that, please. You don't need to spend that much money. Spend that money on yourself. Get yourself, like, a hot tub or something. It'd be dope. So, within what environment would we like to set? Doesn't that mean that somebody's squatting on it? The domain, I mean? Yeah, pretty much. So many domains have been bought and resold at this point, it's terrible. Because generally domains don't go for that much money. You are right. So the variable, let's say the symbol ID, and then let's say something like that. And we would like to set it to the var decal, right? We definitely need a copy. Oh, Christ. So I'm gonna comment this out and say definite to do. And this is going to be write node copy and node deep copy. Then deep copy var decal into environment. Possibly copy symbol as well. All right, that's probably going to be it. Tubecode.net is normal pricing. Ooh, that's pretty good. I wanted my personal website domain to be nice, and it belongs to some dude who hosted something on it like 3 years ago. His server is not updated, and Nginx config is broken, yet he still squats on it. He doesn't even have subdomains. Oh my god. I hate that when the website, the URL you want, it's just dead, it's unused, and it's like, I need it! Give it! The internet. I don't even have a personal website yet, and I'm thinking about buying something for a project we may never work on. That's the spirit. All right, we've been streaming over 3 hours and 15 minutes. Little bit of a long one today. It's been so much fun. I think we are going to wrap it up soon here. If we can figure out why we get invalid type, that'd be great. Because this always fails. That's right. Okay. So I'll just write that so that I don't get confused in the future. We're going to say, fix me, actually set variable declarations with an environment. That reassignments and redefinitions can be properly parsed and handled. Perfect. Landar says, I need to go soon, so pretty good timing. I need to do this little thing called work. Landar, I know how it is. I'm basically a freelancer, so I'm also gonna do work later today. I just don't it's not technically work because I don't have a job to go to. Just making shit work, right? Gotta pay that rent. Vimy says, tale of my life, dude, talking to Landor about the personal website. He says to Mr. Mugume, oh, Mr. Mugume had a chat, create your own DNS server and be the dictator of the internet. Yes, we decide how dynamic network scoping works. It's up to us. Is that what it stands for? I mean, I've debated just snatching up a couple domains that somebody might start thinking to use, just so I don't have to worry about squatters. That I someday might think about using. Yes. Vimy says, work Saturdays, sad. Lendar says, only today. We need to finish something up. Going in on the weekends, you're a pretty pog worker. You better be getting that overtime, bud. Get that bag. You know what I'm saying? It is the end of the stream, so I am going to do my little spiel. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I really appreciate you coming out. It's been so great today. Uh-oh, cranking for a deadline? Gnarly Quack says. Lamau. It's been so great today. I really appreciate everyone being so positive. We had so much fun. We had so many new first-time chats and new people in the Discord down below. Speaking of, in the Discord down below, there's a link. You can find all of us having so much fun. Look at all of us. Biggest fuckboy in CPT. Lamau. But I make announcements every time I go live. We have a text channel where we all talk to each other and have a ton of fun. I appreciate you all so much. It's amazing. We have so much fun every day. Along with the Discord, there's a donate button down below. Now, only give money if you can afford it, obviously. I don't want to take your money. And only if you feel like I deserve it, because I don't feel like I deserve it. All I did was sit here and code. But if you feel entertained, I would really appreciate it. If you can afford it, to hit that donate button. Give whatever you can. I'll appreciate you. I'll shout you out in the Discord, on the stream, whatever you want. And if you leave a note with your username and message, it makes it that much easier to attribute it to the proper person. Gnarly says, thanks for the stream, Lens. Take care of yourself and try not to let the world get you down. Thank you so much, Gnarly. Your positivity is very much appreciated. I'll come back and read that message later, I promise. Thank you so much for coming out, guys. I've got to finish up this stream. I will try and get this updated on Git later today. I'm really late right now, so I can't do it. But I'll get everything we didn't commit on Git later today. Thank you so much for coming out, getting that Discord, say hi. I really love all of you, and I had so much fun today. Let's do it again. Tomorrow morning around 8 a.m. I will be going live once again, 8 a.m. PST, wherever it is for you. Figure that out. I don't know. Same time as today. I'll see you then. Thanks for the laughs. Thanks for the fun. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Hearts, love.